Hailing frequencies are open. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Star Trek Adventures one-shot adventure here tonight on Cryptic Studios Twitch channel. I'm gathered here with the Streampunks again to tell another Star Trek adventure story. Lisa is currently recovering from her grand expedition to the Uck to run Dind, and now that she has run Dind and is back from Uck, we will proceed with Clear Skies Perseverance next week. So we will be returning to Mars. But until that time, it is time for more adventures on board the USS Chawla, far off in the Shackleton Expanse with Away Team 1. Before we get started tonight, let's go ahead and go around the table if anyone has any announcements. The only one that I've got is that the Gax Pack is back, and we are having, I believe it's our final episode on the road to GaryCon, which is going to be on Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is just the wonkiest show. The amount of time we spent debating on just buying hamburgers last episode pretty much devoured like 45 minutes of game time. And we have a character, Snacks, played by the incomparable Vivid Vivka, who really likes to eat satyr meat. I don't have an explanation for you. I don't have an explanation for you. Snacks has a very ironclad stomach. So anyway, do check it out. It's a funny D&D game run by Jason Charles Miller on the road to GaryCon. That's all I got. Who else has got stuff tonight? Anybody? Nobody. Not even... Oh, I was going to say, I'm going to be really weirded out if Kaitlin has nothing. Let's do it.
I produce a little 10 minutes or less podcast called Thin Places Radio. We just put out a new episode last week. I think it's one of my favorites. Very fun, very spooky, very weird. And then also we just announced this past week, me and Rick Bud and Draconix are doing a two-party game called The Cases of Costa Vega. We're going to be on Q Time starting the end of the month on a Sunday. I don't remember dates. Check my Twitter for that. It's gonna be really fun. We've done a little bit of like Session Zero stuff. It's so goofy. We're playing siblings who have become detectives. We're not qualified. It's gonna be great. And we are playing a system that I designed, which is
Awesome.
really exciting and kind of terrifying. So I hope you'll tune in for that and check it out. Leading up to it, we're doing detective media watch-alongs in the Q Times Discord. So if you're there, we watched 2 episodes of Psych last night, and that was a really good time. So thanks to anyone who came in and hung out with us. We will be doing one more of those next week. We're tied between like 2 different shows that we're gonna watch. So find out eventually, but we will be doing another watch along very soon. So check it out.
Sweet. Okay. Anybody else have anything they'd like to contribute? Yes, I can see it. I can see it, Sam.
Hello.
What you got?
Yeah, I thought I had an announcement. I thought there was something in my brain, and then there wasn't. It just got wiped out of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it is the bleariest time of the year because of daylight savings, which, by the way, if you want to catch the bleariest just chatting stream of the year, I stream in the morning before I've gotten used to the time difference tomorrow at 8 a.m. PDT, because it is a D tier time change. But that is for another day. Now, all I can think about is I accidentally made my character irresponsible, and now I get to do it again. I'm excited.
All right. Well, with that, why don't we jump into tonight's episode of Clear Skies if we don't have any other announcements? Well, it's not Clear Skies, I guess. I'm just so used to saying that after a year of running the campaign. You got anything, Noir? Dungeons and Dragons? Anything happening with that?
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, our latest episode came out last week. We had Linda Codega on. We also had them on for Morning Ritual. Check it out. Don't perceive me, though.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me.
Can I run perception on Noir?
Yeah.
Don't do it.
No. All right. Well, with that, then, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode. We are picking up where we left off with Away Team 1, though there has been some time passing. That being said, let us jump into tonight's Captain's Log. Captain's Log, Stardate 60121.8. USS Chawla, Captain Tazim Vor in command. The Chawla is responding to a general distress call originating near the Tui Rai system. a system that is largely unexplored due to its proximity to the Romulan neutral zone. Given the nature of the distress call itself is Romulan, I have had to alert Admiral April Hebert of our situation, and we have been ordered to proceed as we are the fastest ship in the Shackleton Expanse. The Federation enjoys close ties with the newly formed Romulan Republic, a relationship that the Romulan Star Empire considers both insulting and as a cause for confrontation. Commander Carlson is assembling her away team now, and I approve of her selection, given their performance on Ventus 1. I'm confident that they're up to aid in this very delicate task. We begin tonight with all of you assembling in Transporter Room 2. One by one, you all filter into the rather large transporter room. Inside, you can see the transporter chief nodding to each and every one of you. Waiting for you all as you enter in, as you have been ordered to report, you can see Commander Carlson. Commander Carlson is light-skinned with bright hair. She looks like it would not take a stretch of the imagination to pinpoint her for the Swedish descent that she is upon sight of her. She stands close to about 6'1", and carries an air of confident amusement. The crew is very fond of Commander Carlson. She's known for cracking jokes to diffuse tension, and she's known to have an incredibly calm demeanor in the face of desperate situations. And it's earned her a lot of popularity with the crew. She has specifically reassembled all of you as an away team, with one minor exception. You're being given a secondary security officer now in place of your previous science officer, and that is largely to do with the nature of the mission. All of you have been quickly briefed. The assignment was given to you on your way to the transporter pad through your data pads. You know that this is a tense situation in which you were probably all going to be beaming aboard a Romulan vessel, but you don't have much more information than that, just that you're responding to an SOS. Now, the other thing that's been fun, the Chala doesn't use it very often. But the Chala does have the Burst Slipstream Drive, which is a brand new technology here in the United Federation of Planets. To give you an idea of what the Burst Slipstream Drive is, it is the next evolution in travel and space travel. It is considerably faster than warp speed. Not quite as fast as transwarp drive, but it's right behind it. Right now, the Chala is one of the most advanced starships in the fleet because she can actually sustain short bursts of the drive. The drive requires a lot of maintenance, and it can only be used in short bursts at a time before it needs to recharge. So, having reported to the area of the distress call, the Chala was able to clear a few light years in just a matter of minutes. Easily. Arriving at the scene, none of you, of course, have that much an indicator as to what is going on bridge-wise. But when you see, one threat and one momentum have been granted. Let me mark that down. You guys already start with one momentum. That's handy. And they gave me one threat. That's right. We should go ahead and remind everybody that channel points can be used to award threat and momentum. So have fun. I know I will. As a quick reminder, the GM of Star Trek Adventures in this system automatically players start with 0 momentum, but it's easy to gain momentum unless the GM's being a jerk. But it's easy to gain momentum. Threat, however, I start the game with 1 threat per player. So, and I've got, I always give myself 1 extra too, because I like to juice things up a little bit. So I am currently
I earned it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's true. Sam likes to pun, and that got threat. So we're at 6 threat right now. All right. As you all gather into the transporter room, you see Commander Carlson smile at everybody, and she looks like she's looking over. She's carrying one of those Starfleet standard issue cases that has the repair equipment, an extra phaser, an extra tricorder, that kind of thing. All the repair equipment you see typical engineers bringing with them. She's got what looks like everyone can take one if they need to without having to spend momentum for it at all. It's being supplied by the ship. So standard issue kind of thing. What this is going to do, just so we don't get into the techniques of it, I will allow you once in this session, so long as it makes narrative sense, to tell me that you brought a certain tool with you without having to spend a point of momentum for it. So you could say, did I remember to bring such and such tool, or it's something that could give me an advantage on, or like lower the difficulty of this? And you can have that without having to spend a point of momentum to make it narratively true. So with that in mind, as you all filter into the room, she just does a quick head count. You can see her looking at everybody and goes, right, looks like we're all here. All right, let me give you the update of the situation, because we just heard from the bridge. We have made contact with the ship in distress. Chief, could you bring that up on screen? The chief nods and she presses a couple of buttons on the console, and you see up on the wall unit this visual appear. Each of you sees pretty much what the view screen is seeing on the bridge. So you're getting a real-time look at what the ship is encountering. It is indeed a Romulan vessel. What you see is what appears to be a Valdor-class warbird, which is not your standard D'Deridex class. Instead, this is a single, it's much smaller. It's a much newer model of warbird. And really, they've only been seen in the past 13 years or so is when they've been in service. They're known for having an incredible amount of firepower for their size. They have a single like crescent arc sweeping wings off to both left and right sides. They resemble a raptor, essentially. They actually look intimidating. This ship looks like it has sustained heavy damage. Without even needing to roll, each of you, as you look at it, can tell that it is battle scarred. And it's adrift. Not a good sign. It doesn't appear to be in the gravitational pull of any planets. You don't see on the sensor sweep that any star systems are nearby. You do see a lot of debris and sensor readouts on the screen, indicating that a lot of that debris looks like it's probably detritus and hull plating that's been burned away. And you can see coming up on the display, the science officer on the bridge has run a scan. You're seeing the data come up in real time. Carlson leans in on the wall and looks at it as everyone just quietly watches the data readouts. Here's the information that's given to all of you. As the scan is completed, you all see that the debris that's floating in space, the science officer is running that data through the computer, indications of high-intensity plasma damage, which is Romulan weaponry. So it carries all the energy signatures of Romulan weaponry. You can see that the warbird itself looks like it has taken a couple of vicious hits, and there's at least 3 hull breaches. Life signs are sporadic, but also because of the nature of the Romulan power source. Romulans don't use warp drives. They use singularity drives, literally a miniature, artificially contained singularity. Or, if you want to be crude about it, a tiny black hole powers the ship. Kind of the same principle. Because of that and the unstable nature of the energy sources that are coming off of this Romulan vessel, you can see that the sensor readings are both scattered, and you can see that it looks like there's brief windows of time where transport looks possible, which causes Commander Carlson go, of course. No, that tracks. She pats the wall and looks at everybody. Wouldn't be a simple away mission, would it? Well, taps on our communicator and says, Captain, we're loading up into the transporter pad now. You hear the captain say, copy that away, Team 1. Stay in contact. Good luck over there. She steps up onto the transporter pad, and as she does, she goes, oh, where are my manners? My apologies, everyone. This is Lieutenant Talil. She will be joining us today as our secondary security officer. Lieutenant Bell, I think the two of you haven't met yet. She's only just rotated in after our last stop at Narendra Station.
Very excited to work with you. How are you
Greetings,
today?
Lieutenant. It is a pleasure to meet you.
With that, real quick, let's get character descriptions if we could, please. just across the board. And I'm going to start with Lieutenant Cardin.
Hello, yes. I am a Benzite, as Eric kindly prompted me to point out. I have not had the genetic engineering or modifications to remove my use of a breathing apparatus. I do not trust y'all's air. But I have, in addition to our typical kit, an extra, even heavier kit, like the kid who takes the excessively large backpack to school that people say will bring them back pain later. Spoilers, it probably will. Poor Lieutenant Cardin, engineering.
All right. Lieutenant Bell, if you would, please.
Yana Bell is a kind of, sort of, I guess probably kind of tall, wiry Bolian woman. She is kind of the standard blue, no hair, has that bit of cartilage that runs up all the way around, light stripes. She kind of, I think, leans a little, I think I said last time, leans a little bit more towards like an indigo hue. But just kind of very, it seems very calm, and stands at the ready.
All right. Thank you. Doctor, if you would, please.
Right. I'm playing Dr. Nunik Washed. I am Klingon. I stand 6 feet, 6'5". I've got long flowing hair and a long beard that's been braided. Underneath the shirt, should you see it for whatever reason, there is a large gash that I've earned in honorable combat, and I'm to make sure that none of you die.
But surely you're wearing uniform code right now.
Of course.
Unless you're kirking it and you've just kind of like got the manly pecs kind of showing off a little bit. Old school TOS series. All right.
This is Star Trek. I'm sure I'll find a reason to take my shirt off.
I certainly hope so. We want to be as accurate as possible for any Star Trek fans that may be watching. Lieutenant Talil, if you would, please.
Lieutenant Talil is darker skinned Vulcan. All the typical, got the ears going on. Got those great Vulcan bangs. That I guess are genetic. They aren't because you just went through a bad breakup, but I don't know. And she's about, and her pronouns are she, her. She's about average height. Yeah, that is hello.
All right. Each of you setting out on the transporter pad. After a brief moment, equipment check. Everyone has, I believe, just make sure to check your character sheets. Everyone should have a standard issue phaser. You also have any equipment kits or anything that you wanted to bring with you. Doc, of course, you are going to have a full med kit. So that's going to be an option as well. And unless there's anything else, you can... Oh, this would actually be a good time to point out that you do have the option if you felt like it was appropriate. And I'm kind of looking at you, Kaitlin, and I'm kind of looking at you, Danielle. Yeah, Sam's got it. You do have the option of having a phaser rifle instead of a phaser hand phaser. Phaser rifles are obviously considerably more powerful and you don't mess with them. However, anytime in Star Trek Adventures where you up the stakes like that and get the big guns out, it actually awards me 1 threat when you do it. So it basically, you are raising the stakes. More drama infusion, but you get a big, nasty, cool weapon. You have the option if you so choose.
I love that so very much. I feel like Yana is a much more like
Chill.
She's got the little, I think she's got the smaller. She's got the Type 2 phaser.
Okay.
Ooh,
But Danielle
that
could if
is-
you wanted to.
It's so tempting.
Danielle
It's
is
very logical.
It's very logical. I do. Talil is really good at hand-to-hand combat, though. So that's why I'm kind of thinking I want to stick with a closer range weapon. I'm gonna skip it. Oh, it's so cool.
Okay. All right. In which case, I do not award myself a threat, and you guys will have standard issue phasers. As your Type 2 phaser really does get the job done. A phaser rifle is really what you want when it's an assault of some kind or a defense, that kind of thing. If you're fighting the Borg, maybe a phaser rifle is the way to go.
Right.
Yeah, but you don't have phaser rifles, so you're fine. That's the guarantee. That's the guarantee.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, how much threat do you get if I get a batleth?
Yes, I'm awarded threat if you take, but also batleths have what's called an opportunity cost. So you actually have to spend momentum to say that you have a batleth. I think it's opportunity cost of 2, unless you've taken the Klingon trait that allows you to just have one. There is a trait you can select where one has been passed down to you. But the Sword
We
of
have
Honor is
exactly
something.
that
If you
many
carry
right
that
now.
on if you carry that on an away mission, you got to spend for it. And I can only imagine like this commander watching you step up onto the transporter pad with this 5.5-foot batleth and just, you never know.
I've named my batleth preventative care.
Okay, we
You-
can take the rifle you have to take the ballot.
You should talk to Sam because Sam is very much on Team Worf's side when it comes to Klingon weaponry, and is not a fan of the batleth, if I remember correctly.
It's true. It's true.
It's
That's
excellent.
left for life.
It's Mechleth or nothing. Worf totally agrees with you.
That's
Even
'cause he's
though
correct.
Worf is Worf is literally a batleth champion, and he's like, nope, Mechleth is the way to go.
Yeah, he has all the experience and he knows the right
Mhm.
answer.
Yep.
Would y'all be opposed to spending those 2 points for
Please take it.
preventative care?
Please take it.
All right, hold on. Let me just pop open the Klingon source book and make sure that I'm. But yes, you can do it as a Klingon character. You can absolutely do this.
For calculation's sake, this is coming from the momentum we got, and for the one from Close Knit Crew.
Yes, that we get.
Oh, that's
that
right.
we
You get
also
a
at the
bonus one for
top. So
Close
they're
Knit Crew.
both
I
are
love
accounted
that
for,
trait.
allowing him to get the sharp.
That
object.
is such a great trait. I love that trait.
It's freaking. I love this
So
thing.
good.
Yeah, all of the new traits that have come out since we started playing Shield of Tomorrow have been just
Give
ace.
me that
They're
delicious power
fantastic.
creep.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. Well, and I know we're paused for a second, but I will say that Star Trek Adventures, since we started playing in Shield of Tomorrow, Star Trek Adventures has leaned away from the idea of failure being the cause of drama in the game, and instead made it as a YouTube streamer who used to be known as the Complex Games Apologist once said, it's not about failure, it's about peril, and that's where the drama comes from. So Star Trek Adventures kind of upped their game on the power creep, as Sam has said, and now you can do all sorts of cool, fun stuff. All right, so give me 1 second as I pop this open. I'm going to look up batleth, but I believe the opportunity cost on that is 2.
If it's peril, does that mean we should have a pair batleth?
Yes, just
Okay.
wielding 2 batleths, one in each hand.
That would be paradise.
Oh God, I'm gonna word
It's
myself
a
up.
2D20 system.
Okay, more threat coming my way.
You did that to you. You
Yeah.
did that to you. We all saw that.
We're gonna
coming.
get
More-
so much threat that the
More
Sith are gonna
threat
show
coming.
up.
This is what it was like. Okay. Heavy blade. Batleth has an opportunity cost of 1, but it does. Yep. So you can spend. So with the opportunity cost, it does. As I said though, it does have the escalation quality. So it is going to give me. It is going to reward me 1 point of threat taking it.
But we get 1 momentum back then. Yeah.
And it
yeah.
has the freaking cool as hell trait.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, it has pretty awesome. It has the pretty awesome trait. Okay, so let me pop that in there. All right, so yes, you step up onto the transporter pad. The commander looks like she is considering vetoing the batleth, being that you're stepping onto a Romulan ship as a Klingon wielding the iconic sword of Kalis. She doesn't, however. You see her consider it for a moment, and you make eye contact with her for a second, Doctor. And after a moment of hesitation, she just gives a smirk and then turns to the chief and says, "Energize." And you hear the melodic chime of the transporter activating, and the blue curtain of energy, of course, once again sweeps over your field of vision as the transporter room of the USS Chala begins to vanish before your eyes. And reappearing in front of your eyes, you begin to see a darkened room that is flickering with flames. The moment you all materialize inside the room, your instinctively your hands go to your mouths as the air is thick from what your lungs are telling you is exhaust or some kind of aerosol that's not fresh air is in the system. You also immediately see the body of a Romulan Republic officer laying near one of the transporter consoles. The consoles here look patently different than the Federation consoles, to no surprise. The language, the Romulan language that you see all over the consoles all around you, it's a different coloration. Everything is dark greens and purples, but mostly like light and dark greens. But you also see the symbology of the Romulan Republic, which is notably different than the Romulan Star Empire. This one depicts a raptor, its wings spread high up above its head, and over the raptor is a single circle, which depicts the Romulans' new homeworld. Fire is all around you. Immediately, the commander pops open her tricorder and starts running a scan.
You said there was a body in front of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just see if I can find cause of death.
Okay, you rush over to the body.
Mhm.
Then I'm going to have you make, and this is going to be a reason medicine check, and I'm going to set the difficulty of this at 0.
Okie dokie. My reason is 11, and my medicine is 5. So that's 16.
So you need a 16 or lower. Nice.
I got a 7 and a 13.
Okay, so 2 successes. That'll be 2 more momentum to y'all. Party gains 2 more momentum. Are y'all maxed out yet? You're creeping up on it, right? You've got 2 more to go?
We're at
Okay.
3.
3. Oh, okay. Not even. Okay, you're halfway there. While living on a prayer. Okay, I'll stop. Right.
This might also fall in line with one of my focuses as well.
Oh, what is that?
Trauma surgery?
Probably wouldn't come into play unless you were actually conducting surgery on somebody who is in vital, immediate need of healthcare. In this case, though, with your expertise, as you were running the tricorder over the Romulan's body, blunt force trauma. This indicates that the ship was rocked hard by an impact, or it's possible he was struck. It's much more likely that it was this is not an uncommon injury to receive when undergoing intense space combat. As a Klingon, above all, you would know that it's not uncommon, particularly in the transporter rooms where there's actually not a lot of, this is deep within the ship. So there's actually not a lot of safety protocol in place for people when it comes to this. There's a standing station, and it looks like the ship, that it's adrift and that he took this hit. That's what you're suspecting. You can spend momentum for more answers if you have any other questions.
Instead of spending momentum, I think he's going to kind of take a look around to see what he hit. So if there's any blood splatter or like a dent in a nearby console, he's going to take a look at that.
Okay. What is everybody else doing as the doc is doing this?
I would guess the security officers are probably scoping the room, probably up to wherever the next entrance is. Phaser up.
Okay. The entryway to the transporter room does look like it is slightly open. Like the doors may be powered down at some point, but there is probably about a 4 or 5 inch gap between the doors, and you can see flickering lights. And outside those doors, you can hear the distant sounds of this sort of ambient, what you suspect is probably the Romulan alert call.
I feel like perhaps I am the foolish one, but I would like to leave the room with the fire. It is on fire in here.
That's fair.
I will join you shortly. I've deduced that this man died due to blunt force trauma, and I am currently looking to see where his skull was cracked.
All right.
Yeah,
You
I'll start. I think we'll start scoping out the front, out the door.
Okay, you start scoping. As you start heading over to the door, the commander immediately turns and looks over at you, Talil, and says, "Lieutenant, take point."
Yes, I shall. And then Talil goes over and I take point. phaser in my hand, and we're right at the entryway of the door, right?
Mm-hmm. You see it's slightly open.
Slightly open. Okay. Talil starts starts to peek out and then turns to Lieutenant Bell. This is such a pleasure. I've heard so much about you. I'm so glad that we finally get to be working together on this.
And as she says this, in a split second that will stay with you forever, you hear in the moment that she is finishing her sentence a bright humming power of energy from behind her. She lights up a bright green color, and then her entire body drifts away like cinders in a campfire right in front of you. You are all in combat.
Bye, guys.
Danielle, thank you
Bye, Danielle.
for red shirting for us tonight.
Thank you
Good
so much.
evening.
Bye.
Take care.
And we will see you later.
I'll see you guys.
What's the thing they say in 10 Candles? The world is dark and we're alive.
The truth of the matter is you have played Star Trek Adventures with me for 2 years, and I have never killed one of you. And now we're in combat. All right.
No, false. Someone made out with a Borg queen. I distinctly remember.
She was magically regenerated. That totally... Oh, wait. No, you're right. You're talking about Hector.
Yeah,
Sorry. I didn't know we were doing alternate universe. Hector, it's true. Yes. Hector tried to blow up the Borg Queen and got done kissed to assimilate. He was assimilated in the most assimilating way. So, all right.
No, this is serious. We're fighting now.
Yeah, you are actually in combat now.
Okay, well, I have
Now,
to get my
Star
shit
Trek
together
Adventures.
real quick.
What's that?
I just gotta get my shit together real quick. Yana wants to make sure none of her other crew are in like direct line of fire.
The bat list wasn't working. Where did I feel like this is my fault?
Yes. Thank you for bringing the threat on.
It was just a joke.
Eric
Yeah.
doesn't joke. He has
Yeah.
never joked in
That's
his
what
life.
you
Like
get.
a Vulcan. Through the Kolinar is this man.
Mhm.
You say it,
No.
he means it.
It's
Like a Vulcan trying to offer an earnest compliment to someone they're working with for the first time, only to get vaporized.
yep.
Like
All
a
right.
Vulcan disintegrating another Vulcan.
Shot for the very first time. So,
This is serious.
yeah, it's serious. On the
I wish my
somebody
coping
s-
mechanism wasn't laughing.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You
Dude,
see
I
the
laughed through the entirety of Beacon. We're hanging in there. I'm trying so hard.
the commander lets out a shout and dashes forward and puts her back up against the doors. Now, again, there's a small gap. I want to note that she only just barely gotten between those two doors and stood there
Yeah.
before the disruptor fire, which you presume is Romulan disruptor fire, just disintegrated her. So you guys all have an excellent amount of cover right now. You literally only have a 5-inch gap or so between those two doors to see out of. But it also means whoever shot through that gap knew how to shoot a disruptor. What are you doing? It's
I was
up
like,
to you.
can I
It's all
pop
you guys
my-
right now.
Yeah, I wanna pop my tricorder open and see what life signs, anything I can get from down that hallway, like without having to like visually stick my head in between this.
Sure. You pop open the tricorder. You're going to need to make me a control science check.
Science.
Yep. 'Cause you're scanning.
Ah, that's fair. Okay.
Yep.
Okie dokie. That is, I need to get a 16. And this is, what is my difficulty?
Oh, good call. Yeah, there actually is a trait in play here because of all of the damage and interference. There is an interference trait of 2, so the difficulty is immediately 2.
Okay. Can I use constantly watching when you attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies? Reduce the task by 1. It doesn't have a, yeah, it doesn't have a
Mhm.
specific thing
This
attached
is
to it.
going to reflect not so much the data your tricorder is giving you, but more along the lines of just your instinct as a security officer.
So difficulty 1. Okay. That's a 9 and a 5.
Okay. You detect a single Romulan life form down the corridor.
I kind of motion, like, to, is it Commander who's with us?
Yeah,
believe-
Commander
okay.
Carlson.
Commander, and I'll kind of just, like, motion one and then, like, further down the hall.
She taps on the communicator and says, "Way Team 1 to Chawla. This is Commander Carlson. We're under fire right now. 1 crew member dead." You hear static on the other side, and she just shakes her head with annoyance. And she nods to you, indicating that she got your message. Well, she kind of does a quick wave to everybody else. Indicating they should step out of the 5-inch gap if they're not there. And you see her set her phaser. She keeps it on stun.
As does Belle.
It is, Commander, it is my responsibility to keep the crew members of the Chawla safe, and I have failed. I would very much like to be given permission to seek amends.
Not now, Doctor, she says with a very serious tone. I understand your feelings. But for now, you're our only medical officer. I need you to get behind us.
Can we
As-
hear... Go for it.
As you insist. He takes his place, hand on the bat lift, and he's just kind of looking at the dust that was his crew member. Just grips the bat lift tighter.
Okay.
I'd like to take a shot.
Okay. You peek out. Take a shot.
Yes.
Okay.
Minor action to aim, action to shoot.
Okay. So there's going to be a couple of things in play here. So normally taking the shot, as you well know, this is normally a control security check for ranged
Yes.
attack. The difficulty is normally 2. You're firing down a darkened corridor that is filled with smoke and flame. So I'm going to raise the difficulty up to 1. And to reflect that, I'll spend a point of threat. So the difficulty
thank
of the
you.
shot is going to be 3.
Okay. I'd like to take a momentum for an additional die. Is that agreeable?
Yeah.
I have no foci in hitting things with phasers. Damn it, Yim, I'm an engineer.
All right.
Before there, is there any way I can assist with my tricorder reading? Like, does that give any sort of, like, to give them a sort of read of, can I show them what I've read? Would that give any sort of assist?
No, not in this case, no.
Okay.
Combat's a little trickier when it comes to assists.
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
the question, is I have pack tactics, which means whenever you assist
Mm.
another character during combat, the character you assisted gains a bonus momentum if they succeed. So I'm trying, does it have to be mechanically assisting, or, like, can this count for that?
No, this basically means that if Sam's character takes the shot, your pack tactics will instantly give them a bonus momentum if they hit.
Okay.
Because you're just that's a trait. From what I recall, that trait just happens when you're in an away team.
Okay. I didn't know if
Is-
it was like,
is-
it's
is that
whenever
how
you
it reads?
assist. It just says whenever you assist another character during combat, the character
I
you
see.
assisted gains 1 bonus momentum if they succeed. So I was like, do I have to mechanically assist,
Oh,
or can I
see.
like,
I see what you're asking now. Okay, so you're asking if it could be a narrative assist, or does it have to be an actual assist? Yeah, assist it's interesting because an assist roll here, if you could.
You would have to take the assist action, which would burn your turn, and you are valuable as a DPS doing damage.
That's what I was gonna
Probably
say.
the best use to take the shot. But what we could do is, instead of me getting myself another die when I've already earned with minor action, why don't we spend both of our remaining momentum to remove a complication, namely remove that trait and flavor the tricording that you've done as wall hacks.
Yes, that's a great suggestion. Basically lets you use momentum to change the narrative a little bit. Thinking of it in terms of a Star Trek episode as opposed to tactical, you basically burned that momentum and out comes Lieutenant Cardin with a heroic shot. So go ahead and make your roll then. And this will count as the assist, or you'll rather the momentum spend to get rid of the complication.
Okay, so it's just Cardin.
It's just Cardin. You're not Lieutenant
It's
Cardin?
not last. It's not last episode. It's just Cardin. That's another natural 1.
Oh.
It's just Cardin. I have a 1 and a 5.
So you crit?
It's just Cardin.
I love this.
Are we just going to rename Are we just gonna? Are we gonna? We should rename this from Away Team 1 to
Cardin
just
to
Cardin.
crit.
Okay, so that is going to critically strike then. So now that's going to see. That's
I hit for
You-
7.
yeah. So 2 successes. So 3 successes total to hit. So you only needed 1.
Yep.
So net successes will add to your damage. So go ahead and roll that to your action dice.
Yep. I didn't count on needing so many d6. I refer you again to being damn it an engineer.
All right, and then 1 extra. Okay. Really? I didn't realize extra for ranged combat as well. I thought that was just melee.
For what extra?
Oh, success dice.
Oh,
Building
I'm sorry.
numbers.
You're correct. It only adds to success dice if you have like piercing, vicious, that kind of stuff, where it adds damages.
Okay. 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 of which 3 are effects.
Okay, so since you rolled effects, the question is going to be: are you stunning this person, or are you not stunning this person?
I am set to stun. I watched the commander set this to stun, and that seems to be the operating procedure at the moment.
Okay, you all see this red beam of energy leap out of the lieutenant's hand phaser. It just blinks in and out of existence, just like a bolt of lightning. And at the end of the hall, you hear "Ah!" as you bullseye this Romulan, who is, you just saw the shape moving behind what looks like a pile of hull that had fallen out of the ceiling. The silhouette in the back of the smoke just kicks back and stunt falls basically straight back. You hear a clattering of the weapon on the ground. Commander looks at you and says, "Nice shot, Lieutenant."
That is for Talil.
Yana nods and then kind of does like a "am I allowed to go clear the hallway" kind of motion.
Belle, she says, "Yes."
Ducks out immediately.
You duck into the hallway, glancing left and right. You see you see the long corridor to your left and your right going down. Well, it's impossible to tell just how far down the corridors go. A lot of it is covered in smoke and flame, but you do see more Romulan bodies laying on the ground here, crew members. Some of them look like they're in terrible shape, like plasma fires erupted somewhere on the ship. When you move across the intersection and into the second part of the corridor from where the shot came from, you see lying on the ground a Romulan Republic officer, face down, groaning. His disruptor pistol that he used, still set to kill, is lying about 5 feet away. Judging from the look on the officer's shoulders, because they wear what they're like, think of them as sort of like pauldrons almost. There are that denotes the rank of the officer. You see, this officer looks like they are a centurion.
I would like to, if I cleared the hallway, I don't see any other movement. I don't hear anyone else.
No.
Okay. Then Yana wants to like kind of tip him back, prop him up against the hallway wall. How does stun? Can I talk to him? Is he like unconscious?
He's completely disoriented. The doctor would have to revive him, but he got drained of all of his stress in one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cardin stunned the hell out of him.
Good.
Yeah. But you do hear him make, as you prop him up on the wall, he's young man, looks like he may be in his late 20s, has the standard Romulan haircut, very pronounced ridging on his forehead, the pointed ears, the whole bit. He's Romulan. He's wearing this dark, tanned, golden colored suit, a very handsome uniform for the Romulan Republic. They've done quite well in designing their forms, but it looks like this guy, curiously enough, you see scattered to his side as you propping him up in the wall behind this area where you see some of the debris that has fallen from the ceiling and some of the doors that have been blown open. You see a lot of this debris. You see there's 2 more bodies back here. One of them doesn't look like they're in such rough shape, but you see a lot of medical equipment next to him. There looks like there is, very similar to what you are all using, it looks like a small case has been folded open and left open, where you see the equivalent of a Romulan tricorder being left out along with a couple of medical supplies. The body that's next to that body looks like it's half buried underneath the rubble.
Okay. So very, very briefly, sorry, 'cause my audio was completely busted while you were giving the initial rundown.
Uh-huh.
Are we here for a distress signal, or is
Yes.
this okay?
You're
Okay,
here to
cool.
rescue people.
Okay, that's what that's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure. So yeah, I think Yana's just gonna kind of like comms the team. Away team 1, we're gonna need the doctor. Otherwise, it's clear down here. And she's gonna kind of start like patting on this guy's cheek to see if, like, hey, like, very.
His head is rolling over. He says something. The universal translator doesn't get all of it because he's kind of muttering under his breath in his semi-conscious state. But as you said, we need a doctor here. You are tapping on your comms. You notice the communicator is static from the ionization around you. Then you hear Commander Carlson shout out from behind.
Then she just shouts, yeah.
Yeah. Are we clear?
Clear, but in need of doctor. And a lot more help.
Doctor. Commander turns to you.
On it, and I immediately make my way there.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just sitting there when you show up. Yana's like, hey, what happened? What happened here? Like, trying to, like, very, like, hey, like.
You see on the ground, presumably the Romulan that just murdered your second security officer, semi-conscious, head rolling off to the side. He's muttering. You can see a faint energy scoring on his uniform where a stun beam hit him.
Yana will kind of motion towards the medical setup that appears to have been in progress when we got here.
I'm gonna kneel down and open up my med kit.
Okay.
And start treating him. And
Okay.
the entire time I'm doing it, I'm just letting him know, if I were not with this Federation, you would die swiftly for killing in such a cowardice way.
The commander permits you, doesn't course correct that at all. Lets you kind of vent a little bit, so long as you're doing it verbally and not.
Oh, he's getting my best care. But
Okay.
he will feel terrified while he receives it.
The commander stands nearby while this is happening, as y'all have moved. She has moved out and has ushered you to follow. So Cardin, I'm guessing you're sticking close to her as she moves out. She checks left and right as she looks down the corridors, and then she motions you, and she looks like she's giving you cover as she glances around. Just go.
I would extremely love to leave the area with the fire. Commander, the singularity drive will need to be secured, given the instability and multiple hull breaches throughout this ship.
Agreed.
We are on a clicking time bomb.
All right. Good assessment. Then let's make our first priority assessing the status of the singularity drive and making sure that it's intact and not ready to blow up on us. The next priority then, finding out what happened here.
Understood, Commander.
One by one, in a very tactical way, they kind of leapfrog it, and moving over to y'all's position, the away team finally rallies. You see this Romulan's head just kind of lolling again off to the side as the doctor is going to now make a control medicine check.
Okie dokie, let's get it.
All right, so hold on. You're using first aid here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me pull open ye old. Oh, this is bringing me back. I've got all of these cheat sheets that I downloaded for Shielded Tomorrow and Clear Skies. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and roll me a control medicine check. You are gonna get. Actually, I'm gonna set the difficulty of this at 0 because you have your tricorder, you have your medical kit. You should be good to go here.
Would trauma surgery apply here?
No, wouldn't apply here. Do you have anything like first aid or first responder or anything like that?
Yeah.
I have a value that might apply.
Okay.
My value is today is not a good day to die.
Yes. You can absolutely spend that. Now, keep in mind, you only get to spend determination once per game session.
Mm-hmm. I'll spend that one for this.
Okay. Then you get auto 2 successes. You get 2 crits right off the top.
Actually, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Screw this guy.
You're like, wait a minute, that's pretty valuable. I'm gonna hold
I
on to that.
want to keep that one.
Thank you,
Somebody-
Doctor, who has a daily on a ship where we are in danger.
Yeah, I'm just like, nah, we go. I'm gonna do my best.
That's fair. That's all anybody can ask, right?
Okay, that's a 4 and a 14, and my goal for this is 15.
4 and 14. All right. Let me just take a moment here and thank Modifius for Tricorder Edition Star Trek, because the information layout design on that is significantly improved. It's fantastic. I'm very pleased about that.
I gotta get that one.
What's that?
I said I gotta get that one.
Yeah, you got to get that one. It's worth it. It's good stuff. Okay, so how many successes did you get total?
I believe that's 2.
2 successes? All right, one
Mhm.
sec. The character attempts to stabilize. Oh, it's actually a daring medicine check. That's fine. This
I can
is
do
a
daring
difficulty.
instead.
That's okay. Means the injured character is stabilized and will not die at the end of the scene. That wasn't a threat, but they remain incapacitated. The character may spend 2 momentum to get this patient back into the fight if they need to. In this case, the character. Okay, one sec. So technically, it's not a first aid check. So why don't we do this? We'll give you them. I'll give you a point of momentum for this roll. Oh, you got 2 successes, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so take the 2 momentum then, and I'll set the difficulty of this. I'll retcon that to 0, and we'll just
Okay.
say you hypospray him back into just kind of waking up slowly. He just kind of nods a little bit, and you see his eyes try to
Might-
focus on all of you.
Might I spend? Oh, he's waking up because I was gonna offer to spend a momentum to get him at least conscious to answer.
Yeah,
A
it's
hypospray,
really a
that's kind of the-
hypospray to
yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna have a hell of a headache, but he'll wake up if you
Good.
hypospray this guy. Yeah.
All right, he's gonna get my dusty cyber spray. But when he's
The
gonna
one
get
that
up.
the one that you used on like another crew member's turtle the other day, and you haven't cleaned it yet. Wally says hello. So you hypospray this Romulan. You see his eyes get a little more focused, and he starts to moan. And there's this instinctual knee-jerk reaction of just like throwing himself back against the wall for a second, and then he stops, and his eyes widen. He sees you all, and he just says, "Starfleet,
What happened here?
we were attacked."
The SOS?
Nods. Romulan warbird, one of the Empires, decloaked and ambushed us.
How long?
I don't know. It feels like it's been hours.
I kind of look at the commander. Is that how long ago did we get the ping?
Commander says the SOS only arrived a short time ago, but it would time out about that. She squats down and looks him in the eyes and says, "Who are you? Name and rank." And you see him focus a little bit, like he's still a little groggy, and he, "My name is Centurion Cassin. I'm a medical officer. I shot one of you. I'm so sorry. I thought you were the Tal Shiar. There was one on board."
Yana's up, stands up from, is like, oh, someone else can talk. She's gonna be.
Yeah, the
eyes.
commander's eyes widen at that. We were sabotaged. The Tal Shiar, when the warbird decloaked, we were boarded briefly. We managed to fend off some of them, but the damage was done, and then we were shot. The commander, he was killed. Sub-commander took command of the ship.
Yana's gonna kind of look down at the this Romulan's patients and look at our doctor, and just kind of be like, "Dr. Washed," and we'll kind of like nod down at the 2 patients who maybe had to pause treatment because we scared this guy. Like, maybe give them a little hand. And then she's gonna kind of start like walking, kind of just kind of circles around or back and forth down.
Okay.
I'm good.
He grabs hold of Carlson's sleeve, almost desperate look at his eyes, and says, "I didn't hurt any of you, did I?" And the commander says, "Don't worry about that right now. I need to know what the status of the singularity drive is." And the doctor, he nods and says, I don't know. I wasn't able to. We were pinned down here. How many of them were there? I saw a few, but then the sub-commander was desperate. I don't know what the situation is, but I heard our engine's power. I think we went to warp.
Oh,
I'm just gonna lean over to this Romulan before I get up to help the other ones that I'm going.
Gets his attention when he notices there's a Klingon leaning in on him. Takes him a few moments to actually acknowledge the uniform.
You killed a fellow officer of mine.
Carlson immediately takes her hand and places it gently on your bicep and looks you in the eye and says, "Not now, Doctor. Not now. Doctor first."
He has stained my honor. And I just walk over to the other two to start.
You see this Romulan doctor, as you've said this, Cassin's face begins to pale slightly. And he looks at the commander as if searching her face to find out if it's true. And when he sees her stony look back at him, he just shakes his head and he goes, "No. I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I would never. I thought the Tal Shiar had returned. I'm so sorry."
Yana is going to kneel down and pick up his phaser blaster. Which
Mhm.
universe are we in? And is going to flip it back to off of deadly mode and try to
Oh,
put it
you're
back.
taking his disruptor?
Yeah, he had
Oh,
like knocked
yeah.
it. You said it like fell like 5
Yeah,
ways.
it
She's
clattered to
gonna-
the ground. You pick it up and you basically, as you power it down, he looks at it with horror.
No, she's gonna flip it to.
Yeah.
Is there a stun setting at all on these?
No,
No?
Romulan
Okay, yeah,
disruptors
she's-
do not come with
Damn,
stun
okay.
settings.
I'm vibing.
Romulan's about that action.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
with Klingons. They do not have stun settings on their weapons.
cool.
No half
She's-
measures.
Then she's gonna power it down,
Mm-hmm.
and she's going to hand it back to him.
He immediately says, I can't.
That's why it's off. If there's more Tal Shiar on the ship right now, we're gonna need more than just the few of us. Just hold on to it.
He slowly takes it, and you can see it's like touching a hot stove for him. He just takes it, and he puts it, holsters it immediately.
you said the Tal Shiar committed sabotage. How? What made you think that there was sabotage? What happened?
I have to assume it's what happened. I don't have any evidence, but it was the leading theory when everything started happening. It all happened so fast. We were at warp, and suddenly we weren't anymore. There was report of some sort of weapons fire in engineering, and then the warbird, the Dederdix decloaked, opened fire. It was a desperate fight, but our power systems were minimal. We weren't able to get through her shields. With power failing, the sub-commander took command of the ship, and she ordered us to warp, I believe is what I heard. I heard the engines go online. Then I was knocked unconscious from some impact on the ship. Something hit us hard. And I woke up not long later and was attempting. His voice cracks a little as he motions over to one of the bodies to his left.
Indeed. May I roll It feels like a reason or insight engineering check against the debris field we have here. I wouldn't expect, for instance, that if they were hit then warped, we would have seen debris on the sensors coming in, unless the pattern is somehow consistent with some kind of explosive hull breach later. It feels like a thing I wanna do a check about.
Okay.
Not that I don't trust him, just that he murdered my friend.
Trust but verify. And the name Talshiar has been dropped into the narrative, so it's not a bad idea to check everything and to look over your shoulder.
I would love a momentum. Or also, it could just innocently be he's a doctor, also not an engineer. So, who knows?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so you're making an insight engineering check, is that correct?
With momentum for cautious.
Okay, I'm going to set the difficulty of this at 2.
All right. Does ship systems feel like a thing that fits here as a focus?
Ship systems. This would be more like metallurgy or damage control or...
All right, valid. That isn't the specific skill set. I at least earned the momentum back. That was
Okay.
a total of 3.
3 successes? Okay, so
Yes.
1 net.
Yeah, so it just earns back the cautious.
Gotcha. Okay, in which case, Cardin, you're going over in your mind thinking about the display that you saw just before you all beamed over here. The state of this warbird as you saw her drift in space, listing and slowly spinning out of control. It's possible if she sustained damage as she was going to warp, it's possible that it was a short warp hop. Maybe it wasn't, the plan wasn't to, it's hard to theorize what was going through the subcommander's head, if that's the truth. But if they were at warp and took a hit, first of all, that is incredibly difficult. I don't care what J.J. Abrams says. That's incredibly difficult. And if it were to happen, it's entirely possible that debris would just be scattered across the entire system if it left a warp field. It wouldn't have the protection of a warp field bubble. It would lose containment. It would slip into real space, out of subspace, and just scatter across the system. So it's possible to corroborate that if you were able to scan the rest of the system. But that would mean the debris field is millions of kilometers. Millions and millions of kilometers across the system.
And it couldn't have stayed in the warp field, like when you jump in an airplane, just letting the inertia of the warp bubble do the work.
It's entirely possible that once if the ship took the hit before, it's entirely possible that once it exited warp, there would be more debris. If it took debris while it was in warp, if it took a hit while it was in warp already, it's more likely that the debris is going to be scattered everywhere. Does that make sense?
Right. We don't know why warp stopped. That could have been the ostensible sabotage. Then there was weapons fire in engineering. Then the warbird decloaked. Then it opened fire. So that sequence of events is at least they didn't try to hit it at warp.
It seems unlikely.
Yeah. Okay.
Keeping in mind that going to warp costs a significant amount of energy out of ship systems. However, Derek's class ships are renowned for having an extraordinary amount of power flowing through them.
The advantage of the terrifying and unstable power system. There's a lot of power to go be unstable with.
Theoretically, the Federation doesn't know much about Romulan systems and how they do it. But theoretically.
Well, maybe I will take a look today.
Yeah.
If nothing else, I will give a confirmatory nod to our commander. I will at least not declare this immediately.
Okay. In which case, she'll turn back to him and say, "We need to get to your engineering to make sure this ship isn't about to explode. Can you help us?" Yes, but remember, engineering is where the weapons fire was. I should be down there anyway to see if there's any wounded. But just be aware, we might be walking into combat. And she nods and says, "And are you ready for that?" And he says, "I feel towards them the way your Klingon feels towards me. And I too am a doctor." You see Commander Carlson nod and say, "I wish I could say that made me feel better, Doctor." And turns to the two of you and says, "All right, here's the plan. We need to somehow find a way to reestablish contact with the Chala. But first, We have to get to engineering and assess the damage to make sure that the Singularity Core isn't about to vaporize all of us. Keeping in mind, too, that the Chala is nearby. If the core suddenly decided to go Nova, it might affect them as well. So that's priority 1. Priority 2 is everything else. Are your turbo lifts working? You see him... I don't know. I don't think so. But I know all the access points if we need to climb. The commander sighs and says, I don't even know how many decks the ship has. You're going to have to lead us there. So you take point. You understand? He nods and says, I can lead you there. All right. Let's go. Helps him up. He staggers a little bit, and you see, again, he looks woozy from the phaser shot. And he nods and starts moving forward. As he moves past the commander immediately shoots a look at you, Belle. And glances at him and then glances back at you and just kind of gives you, without even having to make an insight check, the commander kind of gives you this look of keep your eye on him.
Yeah, she just gives like a very brief, like kind of tiny nod and kind of tails right behind him.
Okay, in which case she falls in. She's going to take up the rear and put the engineer and the doctor in the middle, protecting our wizard and our cleric. So the two of you all begin to make your way down the corridor. You're sort of towards the back. The commander leans in as y'all are moving your way towards what you assume must be an access junction point. And Doctor, you hear her as she leans in. She says, I know you're angry. I know you're looking for opportunity to get your revenge. Just remember, away team first. I know you know this, but as your commander, I'm going to do my job and remind you.
Commander, I understand your caution. I assure you that I have nothing but the away team's safety in mind. And if I were to exact my revenge, it would not be through subterfuge. I would face him in honorable combat and kill him where he stands.
She nods and says, I appreciate that, Doctor. I do. But keep in mind, you're not just upholding your oath as a Starfleet officer. You took an oath as a doctor when you joined Starfleet. And she eyes the batleth on your back and comes back down to you and says, I will begrudge no doctor for defending themselves.
I will not seek out violence if that is your concern. This is only to make sure that I can protect myself and my patients. The Romulan is safe as long as you instruct me to have him remain that way. Should at any time you feel inclined for his life to end, I will gladly uphold that order.
This dark look over her face as you say that, but she nods. That seems to placate her a little bit, and she's I suppose that's all I could ask for right now, Lieutenant. Let's keep moving.
As they move,
Mm-hmm.
because the two of them are together, Cardin also leans over just a little bit to the doctor. She died with honor, right? That's honorable.
She will have a hollowed space within Stovacon.
Award yourselves 1 momentum, and I also gained 1 threat.
I've lost count. What are we
Good.
at right now?
We're at 4. Good. And Cardin... Little Cardin is, with the adrenaline off, just a bit misty-eyed, and slips their hand into the doctor's hand.
Doctor's gonna
You can
squeeze
feel
his-
your Benzite companion looking to you for strength as their hand squeezes yours.
I hope that you do not hold this against me, but your time to walk the halls of Stovacor, I will ensure that it is far from today. You will remain safe. I promise.
I will forgive you this delay for my glory.
Just squeezes the hand.
Squeeze. Little squeeze. I guess it doesn't even register to a Klingon.
Yeah.
But
probably not.
little cartoon squeeze.
All right. Well, with that, you all make your way to what looks like a junction point. You can see it looks like some kind of hatch has been removed. Doesn't look like it was pulled off. It looks like it is, judging from the metallurgy that you see just in that corridor, it looks like this whole area sustained extensive damage. You can see the doctor, as he moves towards it, he looks into the hatch, coughs a little bit. Casson gets down on his hands and knees and stares inside for a second and says, I need a light. Can anyone shine some light down there? Commander immediately activates one of the shoulder lamps, just kind of holds it up, shines it down. He looks down and says, it looks safe. Let me just test a few things. He reaches out and you see him shrug as he kind of does it the old school way and reaches out and touches the rings of the ladder, just testing their temperature. He says, good. Gets inside, starts immediately going down. One by one, you all start entering into this hatch. Why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and take our 10-minute break right here as you're all heading down into engineering. It's a little 10 minutes early, but we'll go into our 10-minute break. And when we come back, we'll get to engineering and see what the situation is down there. A ship on fire adrift in space. The Chala is nearby, so you are all not untethered. But you are out of contact at the moment. And there could be more Tal Shiar aboard. We'll see you all in 10 minutes.
My son, the Terran Emperor, has merged with an entity of great power. As a Terran, conquest is a way of life, but he has gone too far. Now, we must join forces with enemies, or face obliteration. I want to bring him back from this, but I'll do what I must to stop him. No matter the cost.
This is Defender. We could use more armored units at City Hall, and we have wounded here.
Red Snake, you have incoming contact. Witchcraft, Ironclad, Black Mask. What's your situation?
The undead are numerous and running amok. We're falling back to 4th Station Steelhead.
Go forth, my children, and feed upon the living.
I'm just finishing up my patrol now. What the? I was wrong. Things are starting to heat up.
The battle rages onward. Victory will be ours.
Calling all champions. This is a global distress call. Report to the nearest crisis zone and engage the enemy.
Metahumans ejected. Changing targeting lock.
There's something happening down below in the North Dark Reaches, and I need someone to find out what. A friend of mine, a dark elf by the name of Braylon Janquay, sent a message up that he'd found something unusual, but then disappeared. I need to know what he knows.
My son, the Terran Emperor, has merged with an entity of great power. As a Terran, conquest is a way of life, but he has gone too far. Now, we must join forces with enemies, or face obliteration. I want to bring him back from this, but I'll do what I must to stop him. No matter the cost.
Destroy.
This is Defender. We could use more armored units at City Hall, and we have wounded here.
Red Snake, you have incoming contact. Witchcraft, Ironclad, Black Mask. What's your situation?
The undead are numerous and running amok. We're falling back to 4th Station Steelhead.
Go forth, my children, and feed upon the living.
I'm just finishing up my patrol now. What the? I was wrong. Things are starting to heat up.
The battle rages onward. Victory will be ours.
Calling all champions. This is a global distress call. Report to the nearest crisis zone and engage the enemy.
Metahumans ejected. Changing targeting lock.
There's something happening down below in the North Dark Reaches, and I need someone to find out what. A friend of mine, a dark elf by the name of Braylon Janquay, sent a message up that he'd found something unusual, but then disappeared. I need to know what he knows.
My son, the Terran Emperor, has merged with an entity of great power. As a Terran, conquest is a way of life, but he has gone too far. Now, we must join forces with enemies, or face obliteration. I want to bring him back from this, but I'll do what I must to stop him. No matter the cost.
This is Defender. We could use more armored units at City Hall, and we have wounded here.
Red Snake, you have incoming contact.
Welcome back, everybody, as we plunge into the second half of this dangerous rescue operation. There is currently a Romulan warbird, Valdor class, that is adrift out here in the Shackleton Expanse. The USS Chala has come across it and is currently engaged in rescue operations. And the rescue team, Away Team 1, has already suffered a fatality, apparently friendly fire, as they beamed on board the vessel. They've learned that there is a Tal Shiar agent, at least one Tal Shiar agent on board, possibly more, that is responsible for what this doctor, this Romulan that they rescued, is. Cassin believes that there has been sabotage, and it is why they were vulnerable to attack from a Dideradix class warbird that decloaked and ambushed them. Now, to give some quick backstory, because your characters would know this, when the Hobus star went supernova, the Romulan star empire was shattered and has spent years putting the pieces back together again. Many of the survivors had to take whatever they could get to survive, and the Federation initially started helping, but didn't go the full mile because they had a lot of their own problems that they were dealing with and simply did not have the resources to do it. This is actually one of the events that led to the resignation of protest by Admiral Jean-Luc Picard. The Romulans have really been fending for themselves ever since. And one of the things that they have managed to do, under the guidance of a Romulan named Datan, who was an acolyte of a prominent Vulcan ambassador named Spock, Datan formulated what has now been called the Romulan Republic. The Romulan Republic is a new era for the Romulan people. It is a chance to start fresh without a government that is oppressive, and it's not a police state. It is essentially attempting to create a world, a better world for all Romulans. The Romulan Star Empire, currently ruled by one Empress Sela, has declared anyone who associates or calls themselves Romulan Republic to be traitors of the Empire and to be killed. This has not gone well for Sela, because as the Romulan Republic managed to rally what resources they have and form a flotilla and find a new homeworld, and the most incredible thing that they've managed to do is they managed to reach out to the galactic powers and build alliances. And this has led to the alliance of the Romulan Republic and the Federation and the Klingon Empire. First, to be sure, in many, many years. But the Romulan Republic is smaller than the Romulan Star Empire, and it's weaker. But the Romulan Star Empire isn't... The Federation believes, and most people in Starfleet know, that the Romulan Star Empire has not recovered any more than the Romulan Republic has, and that has allowed the Romulan Republic to gain footholds and acquire more worlds. Now, right now, there's a lot of talk of a possible civil war, certainly a Cold War that is developed between the Romulan Star Empire and the Romulan Republic. And it's made all the more volatile by the fact that more and more worlds previously aligned with the Romulan Star Empire sign up for the Romulan Republic. Most notably, Remans, who have been given full rights and citizenship status in the new Romulan Republic. In the Romulan Star Empire, this was not so until Shinzon. But this was not so. Remans were considered a worker warrior caste and were second-class citizens at best. So the Romulan Republic needs to succeed. Its people deserve it. The Federation supports it. The Klingons begrudgingly support it because the Klingons know that it puts a thorn in Sela's side, so they're down. The Federation has had relatively limited contact with any of the Navy of the Romulan Republic up to this point. But as you were all making your way down to engineering, what's running through your head is that this must be what it is like being in the Romulan Republic right now. Not only are you trying to gain a foothold and establish a new future for your people, but you also have the specter of the past, Empress Sela, who was once the head of the Tal Shiar and now is basically declared herself the Empress, trying to reclaim everything that was lost, and is successfully using propaganda across the Romulan worlds to reignite the old paranoias and superiorities of the Romulan people, keeping in mind that Romulans believe that it is their destiny to be the lords of the galaxy. The old way of teaching is that anyone who is not a Romulan was essentially beneath them, and that they were destined to be conquered. Romulan Republic doesn't follow that philosophy at all. Two ideologies in conflict, and the three of you are now, well, the four of you are now in the middle of what appears to be something of a bloodbath. As you make your way deeper into the ship and pass a couple of decks, you do note the similarities. In particular, you are noting the similarities, Cardin. The similarities of this access tubes to the Jeffries tubes that are all over the Chowla and indeed every starship that you've worked on. They're very similar. And just like some of the upgrades to a lot of the Jeffries tubes on Federation starships, you're seeing a lot of access points and things that were implemented, made first on the USS Sally Ride when boards were used to actually sort of move down the junction points. They were most prominent on the USS Ross. Do you remember? There were actually like hoverboards.
No, I mean, I'm
basically?
trying to remember the USS Ross. It's not a ship that comes to mind immediately.
Really?
Yes, no. I
Oh, or did I get the timeline wrong?
distinctions between ships
No,
have
I
never
didn't
been
get
my
the
specialty.
Oh, no, the timeline's not wrong because you guys are replacing the Ross here in the Shackleton Expanse. No, okay, so you don't know the USS Ross. It's fine. It's just a ship. It's not a big deal. It's just kind of.
Oh, is it that ship? Yes,
just kind
you're
of a big deal.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I heard something about
There was a
their
thing.
Jeffries tubes,
Yeah,
but
something like
I
that.
couldn't remember what. I think there was something in the bar between some of them on
Something
shore
like
leave
that.
about knocking into walls or something.
Something like that.
It was not very much of a matter to me.
Yeah. So it's a good muscle burning climb all the way down. When you get to engineering,
Yana takes one of the extra cases from Cardin. What do we climb down? I think is kind of the MO, is whenever we're doing things stuff like that, she'll just take one of Cardin's like cases over her shoulder.
okay, basically functioning as the pack horse.
Enabling Cardin to continue overpacking in future. Yes.
Yeah, excellent. You're just enabling all of this.
Genuinely, yeah.
All right. When you get down to the engineering level, it's pretty apparent because you can, first of all, you can see the literally the writing on the wall, the indications on the two doors that lead into the engineering with the Romulan symbol on them. You move up to the door and you see he reaches out and touches his hand and he puts it against the door, touches his hand to the door and just says, "Slightly warm. I don't have a scanner. Does anybody have any way of finding out what's on the other side?"
I have my I have my tricorder, if that would help.
Go ahead and make a roll.
All right, this is going to be
Control science.
All right, I'm good at those.
Difficulty?
15.
Difficulty is going to be. Difficulty to this is going to be 2.
Huh. Okay, that's 2 successes. I rolled a 13 and a 14.
Okay, you run a quick tricorder scan, putting the tricorder towards the door. As you make the scan, you do detect that there are signs of fire on the other side. Not a great thing in an engineering room. You do detect what seems to be a faint life signs. And you detect the immense power emanating from this room on the other side. That doesn't necessarily mean the power is online. But you are detecting trace elements of radiation, not at dangerous levels, thank you. But you are detecting ambient energies that are in the other room.
Commander, I sense fire on the other side as well as a large power output and fleeting life signs. Lieutenant Cardin, if you might take a look at these readings and see if there's anything you might infer.
Cardin tiptoes to look over your shoulder at the tricorder. That is most assuredly fire.
I thought that you might have some perspective on the power outlet.
The preliminary data is inconclusive. We will have to examine it empirically near the fire.
Let's start by getting these doors open.
Very well.
I back up and leave that to the professionals.
In which case, she steps forward and she looks at either Belle or Washed, whoever wants to help.
Belle steps up immediately.
Yeah, Wash is also going to offer to help.
Okay, so the three of you then. In which case, don't even bother making a roll. The three of you kind of get a grip on the door, and each one of you pulling. You feel the door resisting you, but you manage to, the three of you together, pull the door open. As you do, thankfully, no smoke comes billowing into the junction area that you're in. Rather, you do see a lit engineering space. Inside, you can see flickering lights everywhere, and the alarm sounds constantly blaring. There is a body on the floor the moment you pull it open. It looks badly burned.
So we started this with basically an empty bag that we could put anything we wanted in.
Yes.
I am going to pull out a breather.
Okay.
And Cardin, you are an engineer, correct?
It is my lifetime avocation, yes?
And if you are going to do your job in that way, you will not do it recklessly. He's going to hand you.
They will put their hand over your hand and very gently push it back toward you, then tap their own chest. I never trusted your air. I am so validated. So take this and save more lives with it.
Very well. He puts it on and immediately goes to the body.
Before Yana's not letting you you walk in until she takes a look. So I think you start to walk in, and this just what she's just kind of like a willowy kind of like beanpole of a person, and this just like blue hand, your like big burly Klingon chest, she just stops you and like is gonna like slide kind of in front of you, and I want to scope out the room. I want to do a full sweep.
Okay.
Of the space.
In which case, I'm going to have you make an insight security check here.
Excellent. Okay.
You're gonna get that Worf look like, okay.
I love that every single person is like, no, this room is dangerous. I should be the first.
Yes.
It should be the engineer. No, it should be the security.
I mean,
Hello,
to be fair,
my values are I will protect my crew. This is literally my job.
Yep. No, that's true. You're security. This is literally what you were designed to do.
My job. Okay.
Protect the away team.
I would like to take a momentum for cautious.
Okay.
If that
Spend that momentum.
And then
that actually answers a question for me. I wasn't sure if the breathers could actually help with things like smoke and outlet.
They can, yes. Oh, the you mean the one that's you're talking about the one that Cardin's using. It's never really actually specified in Star Trek. And the truth of the matter is the way I've kind of always viewed it is that it would not function as a protector. It wouldn't protect you from noxious fumes or anything like that. But if it is thick air, the way you all beamed into, it is true that Cardin is better off than the rest of you.
Oh,
They're getting a fresh supply of clean, filtered air that is relevant to their species at all times. Now, if this place flooded with smoke, Cardin would need to grab a mask and put that on and start getting that. But that's totally different. Oh, I just gave
I might
another
make a
threat.
spend for Cardin has done a little bit of tinkering, a little bit of upgrading.
If you want, you can use your option that you had with your engineering device instead and get it for free.
If and when the time comes that the air becomes sus. But I would prefer that there not be fire in the rooms that I go into.
I just want to make you all aware that the Aux crew has once again awarded me a threat.
Amazing.
So clearly they want some...
I didn't even
Yeah. No, they want it to go down. So here we go. So you all enter into the space.
What is my difficulty?
With all the lights and the smoke in here, the difficulty is going to be raised to 3 for the space.
Okay.
It is very dark and very difficult to see in here.
I drop it down to 2 when you attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies. Reduce the difficulty by 1.
Okay,
So
so
puts me
2.
on 2. And this was, you said, sorry.
I'm gonna say, I don't know though. Hold on one
Something-
second. I'm gonna bookmark this. Add bookmark. Me.
I forgot the.
Let me hold on one sec. I'm kind of on the fence about this. One second. There's a few things in play here, and I want to know what I should have you roll as you look about.
I have a focus and threat / hazard identification. I'm assuming that will come into play.
I will keep that in mind.
Okay. This is the role that she is built for.
I
Is
honestly,
sweeping a room.
I honestly think this. I don't think this is insight. I think this is daring security. Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead and make a daring security check. And I'm sorry, what was that? What was that ability you said that you had?
So I have when you attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1. That's a talent, and then I have a
what you got?
focus in threat identification or hazard
Yes, this would come into
identification.
play. 100%.
Okay. Daring
So-
security.
Daring security.
Okay, I get 1 reroll, so I'm gonna take that. Okay. That is 4, 4, 6. So that's 5 successes.
5 successes. Okay, so your tactical training coming in, you move into the room holding your phaser out in front of you and immediately do 2 quick sweeps. You identify the nearest areas for cover for both your own protection and for possible attackers that are waiting for you in ambush. Here's also what you see. There's a couple of Romulan Republic officers on the ground. The one that's nearest to you looks like she died by disruptor fire. About 30 feet away from her is the body of a Romulan Imperial officer, dressed in the iconic, terrible silvered uniforms. Which, by the way, let's just pause for a second, because at one point in DS9, Garrick made one of the greatest jokes ever about how the entire Romulan Empire needs to redesign their uniforms. And I just want to pause, acknowledge. Glorious.
Big words
anyway-
from a man who had to look at Federation uniforms of that era all day.
I know. Although I believe he made comments about that too. Garrick had opinions. God
He was
bless
right.
him.
And we love to hear all of them. We love him.
Possibly one of the greatest Star Trek characters ever.
Yes. Yes.
Garrick is a goat.
Garrick is just amazing. All right. So you sweeping around, you can see that it looks like there was definitely a firefight in here, and there's at least 1 Imperial Romulan officer's body laying on the ground. Now, towards the center of the room, you see a strange looking center column that has sort of a bulbous center and readouts all around it. It's thrumming with energy. It has to be the core. There's nothing else like it in the room. The walls that are lit up around you are giving some kind of tactical readouts, but without your tricorder, you actually don't really know what these readouts are telling you.
Mm-mm.
You see the Romulan writing all over the wall. No other sounds in here. Now, the tricorders did pick up faint life signs, so it's possible someone is laying on the ground injured and unconscious, and they're still alive. It's possible that there's someone stalking around in here.
I banked 3 momentum on that roll. Can I use one of them to figure out if anyone is figure out who is alive in here?
Yes, you could.
I would like to use that.
Okay. So basically, you're doing a momentum spend to ask a question to get a
Yes.
to get some more information. All right. So 1 momentum spend, you're basically doing a quick look to see if anybody looks like they could be alive. If you see anybody on the ground that doesn't look like they've been heavily injured or has an energy burn on their uniform, or if they're laying in a pool of green blood, who could be alive, so that you could summon the doctor over to help them.
And if it looks like clearly no one on the ground could still be alive, then that means there's someone up and walking around somewhere. That's kind of like her hope.
You basically do a sweep of the room. The commander starts to back you up at this point. She takes a step out behind you and starts sweeping behind you with her phaser.
Yeah, I let her know what I've seen in my thought process.
And she nods. Just as you make your way around to the other side of the core, you see what looks like a Romulan who is in their late 20s, judging from the pauldrons, they look like they actually might be lieutenant rank. They look like they're unconscious. They don't look like they've been killed. You can see with that information spend, their chest is rising and falling as they lay flat on their back on the ground. They are wearing the Romulan Republic uniform.
I think at that, if Yana has gotten as good as she has seen, this seems like a chill location, then she will kind of like put an arm up and kind of beckon the doctor over. Actually, probably just everybody can come in, and we'll point out.
Yeah, the commander will. In that case, the commander will wave. Yeah. If you give the all clear, the commander will take your word for it, since you're security, and waves everybody else in.
Yeah, and she'll kind of direct where she saw this and the readouts and whatever so folks can look at the things that are helpful.
Doctor, you see your patient. Cardin, you see yours. That is undoubtedly a Romulan singularity core. You do not know what the status of it is. But I will tell you this, because this is Romulan tech, interacting with it, interfacing with it, or scanning it is going to increase the difficulty. It's going to be a challenge. It can be done. This is what you do. But it's going to be a trait of the scene. So I'm going to...
I have a focus in it.
Do you have a focus in Romulan technology?
I have a talent called Walking Encyclopedia.
Amazing.
Once per session, when you attempt a task, you may spend 2 momentum in order to gain an additional focus for the remainder of the session. Due to your breadth of knowledge, that means that you have a lot of knowledge about bread. So I get it for the remainder of the session. And it increases the complication range by 1. So you're not a true expert on that subject.
Okay.
But...
So then 19s and 20s now. In which case, yes, go ahead and make that momentum spend. And it's a good thing you've done it in full. It's a good thing that when you found out you were going to be on this away team for a possible rescue mission on a Romulan ship, you spent the good Tony Stark level like 20 minutes to become an expert on basically skimmed over what the information the Federation has from Singularity Drive, which by the way dates back to when the USS Enterprise actually interacted with a Romulan warbird and saved it from blowing up.
I saw that at the introduction to the article, yes.
So, you now have that focus, yes.
This is my favorite talent in the world now,
It's
by the way.
pretty
Just
rad.
like, Sam loves this. Anyway.
All right. What are you going to do? You've got the focus now. What you going to do?
I would love to start by taking a look at the logs coming from and that have come from the Singularity Drive, where they output errors, when those errors started, errors of what kind, so that I can understand what's going on now, and when did other things go wrong, and when things first went wrong, what was it that went wrong?
Okay. That's true. Damage reports are going to be coming into engineering, so you might actually be able to gain access to what happened here.
Yeah, this seems like the place to reconstruct a lot of that, because the first thing that happened was warp stopped.
All right, before you roll,
Yes.
as you interact with the computer and you start making your scan, it becomes clear to you that this is going to be...
No!
Dun, dun, dun!
No!
An extended task!
Yeah, I've been so well behaved! I don't deserve this!
You realize, for some reason, Cardin just throws their head back and goes, Con! Extended task on!
They just cannonball into the Singularity Drive.
Yeah, just done. No. All right. So then here's where we're going to do this. Base difficulty. Yep. I'm going to take into the fact that you had a focus on account. So the base difficulty of this is going to be 3. The magnitude is going to be 3, and the amount of work is going to be 10. So I'm going to set these as intervals. It's going to take 5 minutes per interval of rolling. So y'all have kind of a scene to play out here while Cardin is working on the Singularity to find out what the F happened in this warbird. So go ahead and make your initial roll.
Yes. I will take us to from 2 down to 1 for a cautious die. I'm holding on to the 1 for piercing for some work.
Okay.
If I success.
But hopefully I at least leave us one for the next thing.
Okay, make your roll.
All right, that's a 4 of 15 and a 12. So all of those are under my target number. One of them hits my focus, so that's a total of 4. Yep.
Okay,
Bringing us back up to.
So gain the momentum, and now you are going to roll 2 dice plus your engineering.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so I spend 1 momentum for piercing, to ignore the resistance, 2 resistance at least. And then that's, let's see, 2.
It does have resistance, so you can roll. You can.
Right, that's what the 1 piercing was for. To
oh,
go
you used
through at least
piercing.
2
Okay, cool. Yeah,
resistance.
you got rid of the 2 piercing. Okay, cool. So you have resistance.
And I have. All right, I'm 1 short of a breakthrough, y'all.
Oh no!
We have the 1 momentum, but then there wouldn't be any on deck for anyone else.
So how much on the work track did you get done?
That's for 2 effects. Wait. 1 + 2 + 1 + 1.
Are we? This is.
Every RPG I ever play.
Are you quoting Clue? Or are you actually?
I mean, 1, yes, always. 2, I think I do that every single game. 3, wait, I math wrong. That is 5, isn't it?
5, 6. No, so you did get 5.
1 + 2 + 1 + 1.
1 + 2 + 1 + 1. We are literally reenacting Clue right now.
Anyway, 2 of those are effects. It's a 1, a 2, a 5, and a 6.
Okay,
and
great.
2 3s.
So you can get an extra work track. So yes, that'll give you a breakthrough. All right. In which case, that is going to reduce the base difficulty from 3 down to 2. So how much work total? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is going to give you 1 breakthrough, which is going to kill 1 of the magnitude. So you're going to drop. You filled that out. You need to hit 2 more breakthroughs to get this. So 3 drops down to 2. However, I'm going to spend. What time is it? Okay.
Oh, I don't like that question at all.
I love it.
Oh, I don't like that at all. Thank you.
Who said we just had to have 1 red shirt tonight? Let's TPK. Let's
Hold
party.
on. Hold on 1 sec. Hold on 1 sec.
No, I held the doctor's hand.
This is it's just that Ox Crew has been awarding me threat all night, which seems to read to me like they want me to spend some threat. They want to see some shenanigans from the
I mean,
GM.
do you trust your inside check? Maybe you got them wrong. Maybe they want shower with puppies. Shower us with puppies. Lovely puppies. Lovely puppies.
I heard
Okay,
that as
so
like giving a pet a bath, but doing it in a like with a shower instead of like.
See, I just read it as a shower head that spits puppies.
That's
all right.
good too.
Here we go.
Sonic showers. They just bark you.
They just bark you clean. Bark you clean. The new Sonic shower.
Oh dang! My cheat sheet doesn't have anything for effects on the extended task roll. Disappointing. I was trying to see if those 2 could do me any good work before I get threaded on.
You are getting threaded on.
Puppy shower, if that's how it works.
I mean, if the effects on the extended task get me a puppy shower.
Okay, 1 moment here. I'm gonna. Okay. Sorry. Apologies. I'm actually navigating the old core book now, so this is actually taking a little bit more time than it normally would.
Yana is just pacing circles around the entire, like just
Oh,
fully
yeah.
just
Feeling
like
the
wearing a hole in the deck, like
Yeah.
fully just walking circles around the crew as all of this happens.
Yeah, I'm sure you're very relaxed and comfy right now.
Totally, yeah.
Let's see.
You've worked with Yana enough. She is like very in control demeanor, but there is just this like tightness of the jaw that is just very obviously is like trying to keep it cool, keep head on a swivel, but it's just so.
All Starfleet security officers eventually develop prawl jaw. It is a known occupational issue within Starfleet. Also, there is a disproportionate number of outdoor kids in security.
Prawl Jaw. I love it. I haven't heard that in a while. Oh, Prawl.
Talk to your dentist about Prawjaw.
Are you suffering from angry Andorian Prawjaw? Yep. Inside
That's
jokes.
classic Trill Prawjaw right there.
Are you gonna give me the ship
No, I'm not.
information for this? Let's see.
Never.
I didn't think you would. I just thought I'd ask. Let's
Mwahaha.
see.
Yeah, I did it just to be difficult, cause I'm difficult. I was gonna say I was well behaved, but then you threatened on me,
yeah.
so now I'm not easy to work with anymore. Now I'm gonna be a problem on purpose.
Causing problems on purpose.
Also, tiny black hole is just a cool thing in itself. Planet X, the hypothesized gravitational object out near the Kuiper belt of our own system, was once shown to not be inconsistent with being a grapefruit-sized black hole. So all I'm saying is, someone dropped their singularity drive, please claim it at the desk.
I love it.
Also, point of note, the larger the black hole, the more gentle it is when it kills you. The smaller the black hole, the more vicious it is when you die.
So if it's large enough, it just sings me to sleep. Got it.
Death
Oh,
by very gentle
okay.
spaghettification.
1, 2. I have enough. All right,
I have a
I'm
knife.
spending it.
Oh, wow.
Ah,
Okay.
having flashbacks.
All right. That's what I needed to know.
Hashtag speculate.
Okay, so you get over to the core. You got so you got a breakthrough. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna
Oh,
spend.
was this at a security console? Yeah,
What's that?
or a computer console. It was.
Uh-huh.
So, all right, we have one more because I have all
Oh,
fingers
that's
and
right.
thumbs.
Okay, cool.
So we have an extra momentum. Y'all have one.
All right, so here's what happens. And thank you for this, Ox crew. I appreciate you. Here's what happens. As you start moving in navigating the systems, the doc, security officer, commander, all go over to check out this fallen Romulan who apparently is alive. As you move over there and squat down, you can see his chest is rising and falling. The doctor who's with you spots him, and Cassin, who is the Romulan who's with you, goes, Vedith? And squats down and says, Vedith, Lieutenant. Shakes him a little bit. And Vedith's eyes start to open. He's, where am I? What? The ship. The ship. And he says, no, I know. Calm down. That's happening. 1 point of threat is going to reinstating the difficulty to a 3 from a 2 after your success. Sparks begin to fly as you connect the Federation tech into the Romulan tech. It looks like there was systems damage that you just didn't spot when you were plugging it in, and there's a brief spark. The difficulty is going to go up to 3 again for the next roll. However, you still get your breakthrough, and you still drop the magnitude down, and you begin to interface. As that happens, this Lieutenant, Vedith, opens his mouth to say something, but he looks like he looks frightened and desperate. And he opens his mouth to say something, and all of you feel the entire ship get rocked. And you do the TNG shuffle as the entire engineering section just feels like a concussive smack right into it, causes the entire ship. You can hear the internal hull plating groaning from the impact. Now, all of you are trained Starfleet officers. You know when a ship has been struck. The commander grabs hold of the wall, and I'm going to actually have her make a roll to assess the situation. She's going to make a command check. She gets her focus for this. Nice. She's going to make a command check. And she rolls a 3 and an 8. She's going to succeed. You guys are going to gain 2 points of momentum.
Sweet.
And she looks at all of you with this alarm in her eyes, and she says, the warbird found us. To give you an idea, I have spent 6 threat.
Oh!
6 threat allows me, as the GM, to summon any ship as a reinforcement so long as I have enough threat to equal its scale.
Oh my god.
To give you an idea, the Dederic's class scale is 6. It is larger than the USS Ross. It is the most powerful ship in the Romulan Navy. And apparently it has caught up to you all. Or at least it has caught up to this Romulan warbird. You also know that the Chala is out there. So you can't imagine what the captain must be doing right about now to see this Romulan ship be presumably fired upon. But the commander looks at all of you and says, get ready for boarders. She shoots you a look, Cardin, and says, Cardin, Lieutenant, I need you to work fast. We need power back online so we can get shields up.
Can I start locking this space down, the engineering room? Like, can I start moving around and trying to, like, see if I can get access to any of their security protocols, anything that I can lock this room down?
You have no idea. It's a Romulan warbird. Is literally like if you were somebody who grew up on boats all your life, someone just plopped you down in the cockpit of a passenger plane.
Was his name Vedith?
Vedith, the one that's waking up, looks like an engineer. And
okay,
yeah.
She's going right up to him and is like, hi, bad day, I'm so sorry. And she's gonna kind of like grab him by his elbows and try to get him to like stand up. I need your help to protect us, okay? We're gonna start locking this space down. Can you help me with that? And she's gonna try to like gauge his
We need
awareness.
shields. That's the only way to lock the space down is we need shields.
Okay. And then I kind of like gesture them over to Cardin. Can you help them then?
Not from here. We need to get to the bridge if we're going to have shields. I can't access them from down here.
Can you... Okay. We power first, right?
Power first, shields. To activate shields, we need to be on the bridge.
Okay. I kind of
Get him to the bridge. I'll get power on by the time you're there.
Okay.
I'd like to start looking at the other bodies that are on the floor to see if I can help get some of them up so they can help us.
Okay.
If they're not dead.
I'm going to spend my last threat.
That's not a great response.
You move over to one of the Romulans, and as you start scanning, what you kind of catch the movement in the corner of your eye, and you glance over, Doc, just as you're scanning one of the bodies, and you see that Imperial Romulan officer has pulled what looks like a small weapon and is aiming it in your general direction.
Today's a good day to die.
We're going to start combat. Now, he did not get... I'm spending a point of threat to basically treat him like a reinforcement. Okay. So the reinforcement is taking place. However, it's not a surprise attack, which means, according to the rules of Star Trek Adventures, you get to act first. Remember, this is a television show.
Yes.
This is Star Trek Away Team 1, Episode 2. All right, so what would you like to do?
Of course, I'm pulling out preventative care. I have to protect my patients.
Okay, you pull the batleth off your back that you've had strapped there, secured. All right, doctor.
I have lost one patient today. I will lose no other, and I will attack.
All right, so you are making a physical attack. So first of all, you can... technically a minor action to pull the batleth.
Mm-hmm.
You can clear that space.
Okay.
Let me hold on. I'm trying to gauge this because how
No
far
worries.
away? Oh, he was in short range. He was not that far away.
He was 30 feet from Vedith.
Yeah, he's.
I figured since I saw it from the corner of my eyes, he would be like in batleth.
Well, you could spend momentum to get an extra minor action. It's one momentum.
We have.
I'll spend it.
We got some. Yeah.
Okay, so you can spend that one momentum. You can pull the batleth and clear the distance between the two of you, and then you can make your attack if you choose.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Okay. Are you so? Again, you're Federation, so this functions slightly different. You are swinging a batleth, and I'm guessing you're doing it to kill.
I am.
He is certainly He is certainly shooting to kill. But let me put it this way: you don't have an option with the batleth.
Yeah.
When you, it's a lethal weapon. When you swing that thing, you are basically doing what Worf did to Doros in his quarters. So
The
Yeah.
intention is to disarm, but if he dies, he dies.
There will be some disarming if you hit him. Yes.
Yeah, you know, I find the ultimate way to disarm someone is to stop the pulse.
It is true that he will find it very difficult to fire with a batleth lodged in his skull. It is true. That would definitely raise the difficulty. For melee, it is difficulty 1 to strike this guy. Now, here's the funny part.
Mm-hmm.
He's prone.
Oh.
Now, if you were shooting him, the difficulty would go up by 1. But he is prone, and you are engaging him in melee, which means you're pretty much going to get a difficulty 0 on this guy as you charge up to him.
Yep.
So go ahead and make your attack. Now, I also want to warn you, because you were attacking him with the batleth, I immediately gain 1 threat.
Yeah, I'm okay with this.
All right, cool.
All right, here we go. What is this is assuming
Daring plus security.
Ooh, okay.
And he is going to make a defending roll here. Oh, that's right. It's not difficulty 0. It's daring plus security check. So he's making a daring plus security check, but his difficulty is going to go up to 2 because he is trying to defend himself against an attacker that, yeah. So he is also going to make his roll. Don't even
We
know
have
why.
3 momentum left if you need to take any for any reason, like murder.
Okie dokie. Let's see what happens here. All right. That's a 1 and a 10.
So that's a crit. You're going to get 2 auto successes on the hit. So let me roll for him. Hold on, I'm going to double check and make sure that I haven't been thrown more threat. Okay, just checking. And this is not me asking. I'm just checking. I say this is a daring security check.
Australia plays had a much better way for this to go than I did.
He rolls. I need to beat how many successes? 3?
Yes.
You hit him. He does not succeed at that. All right, so now you are going to roll. So this is where it gets ugly. All right, so you charge up there with a batleth. You swing it back over your head and bring it down on this Romulan, this Tal Shiar agent who is about to try to open fire on you just as you were trying to help people. So on a successful attack, the attacker rolls challenge dice to deal damage. How many challenge dice? Well, you start with a number given on the weapons chart. Do you have the weapons damage for?
I do not. I'm so sorry.
Noir?
I know I'm the
Noir,
worst.
you go and you go and you get batleths.
I
and
got
then
bad
you're
left, but not bad math.
I can't believe you. Now I've got to stand in the tea chest. Wait, 1 second.
I'll stand in the T pose.
Yeah, all of us. All right, let me bring it up. All right, there it is, batleth. Klingon batleth, considered a heavy blade. Oh, it has the vicious effect, vicious 1, which means every effect you roll right now is going to add an additional point of damage to it. It is damage dice. You're gonna get 3 challenge dice plus your security rating, which is
my
what?
Security rating is 3.
Oh God, what just happened?
Okay.
Oh yeah, thank you, chat.
I'm not begging for it, man. I'm not
I was
asking
begging
for
for
it
it.
or
Gimme,
anything.
gimme, gimme.
You fool no one.
All right, so your security is 3, so then you're gonna roll 6 dice, 6 sided dice. Now, as a quick reminder, because Noir, you're familiarizing yourself with Star Trek Adventures, yeah? So you're getting the hang of the challenge dice. So you want 1s and 2s, 5s and 6s.
Okay.
And we have plenty of momentum, so if you want to re-roll any 3s or 4s, it costs 1 die to re-roll selectively.
Not really gonna be all that necessary.
All right, how much?
I love
6, 2, 1, 1.
So how much total? So 6 would count. Any effects, 5s and 6s are going to count as 2s.
Oh,
And
for
1s
7.
and 2s counts as 1s and 2s.
Oh, okay. So that's 4 effects and then 2 successes.
4 effects. So that's 4
Yeah,
effects is 2,
that's
4,
2,
6.
1, 1, 1, 5, 6.
So give me a total then. So add all the 1s up, and then every effect is a 2.
All right. So I've got 3 1s.
So that's 3.
1, 2.
4, 5.
And then a 5 and a 6.
6, 7, 8, 9. 9 points of damage. 5 is enough to end a minor NPC instantly. This is not a minor NPC. So you charge up there. It attracts the attention of the commander and everybody else. The moment you charge, do we hear a Klingon battle cry by chance?
He just yells, "You could have been my patient or my opponent. You've chosen. You've chosen foolishly."
You have chosen poorly. All right, you charge up there, shouting this. You swing the batleth over your head, and you bring it down on this guy. Now, as this impacts, if you'll give me just one moment here, because
You were at 1 threat, right?
He just got another one from me attacking with the batleth.
I have 2.
Okay.
Did I do that?
Yeah, one from the batleth and one from chat, I believe.
Sam is trying to assess whether or not I can spend to avoid injury right now.
Exactly.
That is also what I'm trying to assess. Avoid injury because it's 2. Yeah, he's going to spend it. So you slam the batleth down, and this Romulan rolls to the left and avoids the strike. However, he is at 0 stress now. So any injuries done to him is an instant injury, and if I cannot shrug it off with momentum, he drops. But he rolls aside as the batleth slams down into the plates of this Romulan ship. There's a spark as you all hear the batleth impact onto the ground. Everyone is alerted at that point that there is now combat happening here in the engine room. That is going to be your action then. Now, the way STA works is it bounces back and forth. So y'all have gone. So unless you have momentum to keep the initiative, it now passes to the
You have it if you want.
How much momentum is to keep initiative?
2, I believe.
2 points of I think that's correct. Let me double check. Bonus
Yes,
to start.
2.
We have 2.
Yes, you can do this
We have 3.
once, unless you have a talent. But you can do this once.
Yo, can I take it in?
If you
And
don't,
lineage.
if you don't take the, let me tell you this: if you don't take the initiative, the doc is going to get a point blank shot from a major NPC Romulan disruptor.
I want to take initiative.
Okay.
I want to take the initiative.
No, let me take it. I can take it.
No,
I can take it.
no.
Don't do it.
Let's see what redundancy does. It worked so well for our Vulcan.
Putting
All
the
right.
done in the redund.
You've got
Oh
to.
my
All right. So if you're in your situation here, you are going to have to, if you're going to make a range attack against him, he is prone still. So it is actually going to increase the difficulty, and it is going to be starting at a difficulty of 3.
Okay. And I'm
And
assuming
it
the
is
task
a
to detect danger or hidden enemies is not it because we already know he's there.
Nope, you already know he's
Cool.
there.
Cool.
Control security.
Control security. How many? We had 3. You said 3 momentum?
Now down to 1 for
Yeah, you got
keep the initiative.
1.
Yeah.
Can I buy for caution?
Buy a vowel.
Okay.
Thank you, Ox Crew, for keeping our Romulan villain in the game.
Okay, I have a focus in hand phasers.
Once per scene.
Then that focus will come into play.
Amazing.
No. Major NPCs are not bound by the once per scene rule. So long as I have threat, I can keep shrugging off injuries like that.
That's
It's almost how Eliza's captain in Blood of the Void was killed in a duel.
right.
Because
yeah,
I kept
remember
burning
that.
threat left and right, and he almost got her.
Okay. Sorry, what was the roll?
The
again?
difficulty was 3.
3.
It's
3.
control security check.
Control security. Okay. Excellent.
Mhm.
Okay, I get 1 reroll, so I'm gonna take that.
All right.
Okay. So that's 2, 3, 5. That's 6.
6 successes?
Yeah.
All right, you're going to strike him. That's not going to be too much of a problem. The phaser shot hits the prone Romulan. This is a type 2 phaser, so it does 3 damage. So go ahead and roll the 3 dice. And I believe you had it set to stun, correct?
I did, yes.
Okay. So, yeah, you're going to roll 3 damage. It has the charge ability, and I'm trying to remember what that does. I do remember it was a
I
good
used
thing.
it last time to I like just
to do a sustained fire. I
yeah,
remember
just
that.
wasted
We kind
I
of
burned the whole thing. Yeah.
the weapon has adaptable energy supply, allowing its potency to be scaled at various levels. If the character performs to prepare a minor action before attacking with the weapon, you may add you could if you want. In the future, what it means is you can take a prepare minor action the way Sam used aim. You could use a minor action to decide that the shot is going to be area of effect, intense, piercing 2, or vicious 1. Phasers are awesome. In this case, you don't have to worry about it. You're just setting it to stun. You're going to do a debilitating shot. So.
Okay, so I roll. Sorry, how many? I'm rolling.
So you're going to roll
dice?
2. I'm sorry. You're going to roll 3 because that's the base damage of the phaser, and then you're going to add your security rating to the challenge dice rolls. Yeah. You're a main cast member. you get to throw some dice.
The 1 second. Okay.
Yeah.
3. Okay.
It's not good when Caitlin's like, I don't have enough 6-sided for this
I need to go
Romulan.
find some more.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay.
Oh, interesting. I'll keep that in mind for the future, but non-lethal shots increase the attack by 1. Increase the attack difficulty by 1.
So you can take a non-lethal with a batleth as long as you increase the attack level by 1.
So
and vice versa for non-lethals, apparently.
Well, I didn't know that was okay. So I see that under ranged attacks, but I don't see it under melee attacks. I would not have a problem saying that you flip the handle of the blade around and smack him. Yeah, that's fine. But yes, if you wanted to take in the future, we'll make sure to note that if you want to do a non-lethal option, you can raise the difficulty to hit him by 1, which
awesome. No worries. I mean, no worries. I think like instinctually the Klee guy kicks in before the Starfleet and just waits to go take him out.
Yeah. All right. So how'd we do? How'd we do?
5, 5, 5, 6, 6.
So
and then 2 4s and a 3.
5, 5, 5, 6, 6. That's 5 damage, and then 2 4s. So that doesn't do anything for you.
2 4s and a 3s.
Oh, so 5 points of damage then.
Yeah.
That's actually enough because I had 0 stress and no more threat. So you stun him. His head drops back to the floor just as he was getting a lining shot on the doctor.
I think it's just like an immediate. We hear commotion. There's already a phaser. The batleth comes down. He raises his, and then she just down immediately.
Out of curiosity, real quick, and I'm going to be a bastard here, but real quick, if I remember correctly, you can spend a point of determination. Can't you? Can't you shrug off?
Yes, but not the effects of the injury.
Right.
I think once you get zeroed out, you can't determine your way out of it because you take multiple injuries at that point.
Oh, no. So the effects of the injury means that you can't shrug off the fact that you've been reduced to 0 stress. You can linger at 0 stress the entire time, but if it has a deteriorating effect, it still works. You can stay standing if you can spend it. Because what I think I'm going to do is, since he is since he is a major NPC.
Oh no! I tried. Yeah. I'm so sorry, Doctor.
I didn't know how to properly run NPCs when we were doing Shielded Tomorrow, and I just watched Sam crutch everyone in the face to death.
No, that FedExed being gave.
I had to pull some major. I had to pull some major stops to challenge you guys.
Well, I was pleased with the conclusion nonetheless.
Me too. No, it all ended up great. Like we didn't lose anything. We didn't lose anything from that. But I have since learned how to properly.
So so I don't get the stun. Is that the?
So what I'm gonna say is he is also going to do a quick roll off to the side of the ground as he sees you about to open the shot. He is going to call. Well, hold on a sec. Let's see if I have a determination to spend that would apply here. Yes, he's going to use his value. Everything I do for Romulus.
Yeah, he has a directive anyway.
He's going to burn his determination. The phaser shot hits the ground right next to him as he pulls back into a sitting position. And it's now going to be his turn.
Did we bank 3 momentum from that? Was that the...
Yeah, you're going to get all the momentum from that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 3.
I want to make sure that I had the number right.
Yep. Okay, so what does he get? He's got a disruptor pistol. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Well, let's see.
Give it to me. I want it.
It's a Klingon.
Ah!
There's no way the Romulan is going to...
Yes!
There is an ancient enmity between the two of you. There is
I got you 3 momentum, bud. Stay on your goddamn feet.
No, never target the cleric.
This is the honorable path forward.
Oh.
There's no honor in abandoning your patients.
I will.
Oh, hold on.
I will have to fall for that to be true.
Oh, y'all are lucky. I just read I have to spend threat in order to use determination. I can't use it because I'm out of threat, so I don't get this.
I'm all out of threat.
Which is good. He has. I'm using stats in the book. He has an ability called Ruthless and Determined. This guy can spend 2 threat to gain the effects of determination instead of 3. He's not going to get any though. So your phaser shot is going to stun him flat down. He is blacked out, unconscious. Done. Dunzo.
No!
That's a phaser, but you know.
Yeah.
Damn it, Jim, you're a doctor, not a tank.
Yeah. All right. In which case, I'm going to need Cardin to make a roll here. Because at this point, the Romulans in the room, along with the commander, are scrambling to the turbo lift to get to the bridge.
Okay.
And you hear the commander saying, "Get me power to the turbo lift!" As she gets down to the end of the hallway. So rerouting power, we're just going to call this just another part of the extended task. Because you're basically trying to restore power to the ship that is now being hammered by Daenerys class vessel.
Okay.
So go ahead and make your engineering check here.
All right. But
This is-
there's a batleth and there's phaser fire.
Yes, I'm using the... Well, I'm out of threat, so I can't raise the difficulty again, but I'm just going to say that right now I'm not going to spend any threat to raise the difficulty level, not only because I don't have any, but also because I'm using this to reflect the fact that your engineer, they are laser focused on what they have to do right now, Cardin, because right now everyone is depending on you to get power back to this vessel.
Right, everyone's yes, Commander. And I have the difficulty already raised back up to 3, which adequately reflects the stress of,
Yep.
Yana
everything.
posts up right next to Cardin, not talking, not in being involved in anything, but just like a presence who is fully just like power stanced, eyes like a hawk. Got your back.
Okay.
The ship rocks again.
Hand.
You hear
him
the
on
alarms
your back.
blaring.
Shoulder squeeze.
If I fix it, I will learn how it works. Cardin is going to tap on their natural curiosity. That when they are stressed, they go to the thing that makes them the encyclopedia.
The Mind Palace?
Just wanting to know that by getting into this, by focusing on this, by investigating this, they will know the thing. And that is outside all of the rest of this. I simply have to know how it works. I'll spend my determination here.
All right. Gain 2 auto successes right off the top.
Thank you. I like them off the top.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm just a little fluffier.
You can roll now to, that's going to, so now you just need 1 success.
I need 1 success, yeah.
How much momentum do y'all have now?
3.
We have 3 still.
You're in
I'm
great
gonna
shape.
save them for the spend.
Okay.
For the effects spend.
To
'Cause we'll need
reflect,
piercing and so on.
after this roll, to reflect the 6 threat spend that I had to have a Daenerys show up, I'm going to add that as a trait to the scene. So I'm going to do enemy reinforcements as a trait. So after this roll, all roll difficulties will be increased by 1 with regards to engineering and medicine checks.
Okay, cool. I mean, so I got 2 successes, so that's enough.
Okay, so you'll hit it.
That gets us 1 momentum, so we'll be running at 4 when I do this roll.
All right, cool. So roll the d6 plus your engineering plus the 2d6.
Okay, I'm spending 1 of those 4 for piercing.
Okay,
Resistance.
you will ignore the resistance.
Vive la résistance.
Resistance is futile.
I don't like that one as much.
You don't have a pencil anywhere nearby, do you? You're oh no, I could see that pencil's life flash before its eyes as you stared at it.
Okay, that is another 5 with 3 effects. I wish I remember what these did.
Whoa, 5 with 3 effects. Okay, so that's going to be a breakthrough, 3 effects.
My sheet just does not have extended task effects.
Let me mark this down. Oh, do you need to know what the extended task, what the effects do for extended task?
Yeah, because I didn't get to spend them last time because I didn't have that on this particular sheet.
This is where I can turn to the tricorder edition because it has stuff so much better. Let me just bring it up.
What do you think of the tricorder edition, Eric?
I wish we'd had this. Plus, check it out. I mean, this thing, it's also only this big, which is just, I love that.
It's just a baby.
I can read this in bed. It doesn't pop me in the face when I fall asleep while I'm reading. It's fantastic. I just kind of collapse.
You don't like the built-in alarm clock?
Every book can be read in bed if you're not a coward.
Okay, attempting extended task momentum
with the flashlight hiding under the covers from Mom.
Okay, so you can, due to the use of effects in extended tasks, some consideration needs to be made for what happens when an effect is rolled. Under normal circumstances, the effect for an extended task has no special effect, and thus each effect simply rolled counts as 1 stress taken down. When additional effects, however, the Game Master may award bonuses which trigger when any effects are rolled. These might be granted to your character using ideal tools for the job, an advantage already on the scene, or by talents your character has. In this case, I'm going to rule, since you burned your determination for this roll, I will allow effects. The following examples are effects that might be treated as a particular use for extended task. Triumphant. If you achieve any breakthroughs, you can achieve 1 additional breakthrough, which I'll allow that. How's that sound?
I will accept this with gladness. I also realized from all fingers and thumbs, because I did this with a computer console, I get a bonus momentum that cannot be saved into the group pool. Use that to re-roll one of my 2 4s and got a 2 on that. So that adds another 2.
Yeah, because you crit with another 2. So then, geez, okay, great. Let's see. The magnitude. You're actually going to break the magnitude then. That's going to succeed. You're going to fill the work track, break the magnitude. You watch as the pressure comes onto Cardin. Cardin just sits there and stares at the screen for a second and just takes a deep breath and just starts immediately going to work. The tricorder is translating the Romulan writing all over the computer systems about as fast as Cardin is typing and hitting the console. And a few moments later, you see the energy levels of the Singularity Core begin to stabilize. You begin to see all of the energy limits that were exceeding parameters and some of them were too low are starting to normalize. And at about that point, at the end of the corridor, you can hear the turbo lift go, shh, and you hear, "Fucking for promotion, Lieutenant," as the commander immediately steps into the turbo lift. Shh, and it closes behind them.
Singularity drive.
A few moments later, the commander is going to arrive on the bridge. Now, I am turning this over to narrative play. Y'all have no idea what's going on the bridge. But next up is getting power to the shields. So, in order to do this, it's actually quite simple. Right now, your ship has a power rating of 1. If you spend that, the ship is out of power. But you can use your action right now, Cardin, because we're out of combat technically. And while it's technically ship combat, that doesn't have to take place unless it's on the bridge. And then actions that take place down here are more relevant to what's happening down here. So the dock and security are basically covering the area. You're stabilizing the power systems out here is also going to allow transport when you guys need it, because you've stabilized the fluctuating energy that is pulsating off of this Singularity Core. So interference trait, once you've succeeded, what's that? Yes.
Sorry, Demi-Whip comes back.
I'm letting you all know, the moment you got that Singularity drive online, the interference trait 2 is removed from the episode. It's gone. So now you do not have to break through difficulty 2 to do anything to communicate with the Chala. So at about that point then, you are going to have to make a roll to increase power to the ship. So this is going to fall under ship combat. I knew I would get you into ship combat. I knew it. I knew I'd find a way. You tried so hard to escape, but no.
Next time.
You can't get away.
I do not acknowledge
From hell's
that I am fighting.
I stab at thee. For hate's sake I make play ship combat with me.
I am the calmest bat. I am even calmer than the bat Leve.
Communications, internal
tell you for
systems,
certain my
power
bat
management. All right, Sam.
Yes.
Carding can make a daring or control check here with a difficulty of 2, which you can also choose to succeed at cost if you want to give me threat. If successful, the ship gains 1 point of power plus 1 additional power per momentum spent, which is repeatable. And you may use that as normal. That is going to get the shields back on. After that, it's using a regenerate shields check, which is has a power 1 requirement. But this is to get the shields up and online.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, power to the shields so that they can activate them on the bridge.
Ship system supplies?
This is, yes, you could use, yes, you could, because you have a focus in Romulan technology right now. So you can absolutely use your engineering abilities.
Fantastic. All right, I would like to take one of the remaining 3 for cautious.
Okay.
Yes. And then I will roll several dice.
All right.
I have rolled several dice. Cardin!
That sounds good.
It's just Cardin! Let me reroll this one too. Okay, sure. It's just Cardin.
Okay.
So,
how many successes?
Under a 17, I needed 14, 16, and the Cardin.
Difficulty 2. So how many successes total?
So that's a total of 4.
So 2 momentum. So you can actually spend
2
all
additional
that.
momentum plus my all fingers and thumbs bonus momentum, which will definitely go to an extra power.
So 3. So you basically bring the ship from 1 to 4 power in one action. As you start feeding all the energy from the Singularity Core back through the plasma relays of the ship. All of you watch as the lights and engineering flicker for a second and go as the ship starts coming back online. Environmental control systems begin to activate, and you see a lot of the smoke immediately starts to be cleared out of here. Damage reports start coming in all over the ship. Immediately what you see on the screen in front of you are a few things. There are about 175 life forms still on board the vessel. You also see that the ship has taken extensive damage, but it's not inoperable. It has multiple hull breaches, but if you were to get this vessel back online, it could still defend itself. The next thing you know, too, is that you have 4 power right now, and regenerating the shields was the first thing that the commander wanted you to do. You also have basic sensor operations down here. You can see that right now, according to the readouts, it would appear that the Chala was engaging the Romulan warbird. The Vesta-class science vessel is standing up to the Romulan warbird right now. You cannot see no sensor information is coming through to indicate weapons fire, but then you don't have full sensor readings right now anyway. It's possible that the fight has not gone into open warfare just yet, but it's clear that the Chala has engaged because of the proximity that the Chala has towards the warbird.
What's the distribution of life signs around the bridge?
There are 2 life signs on the bridge.
And sorry, last question. Is it possible from the engine room to site people?
If you spend the power, yes.
How much power?
To activate the transporter is 1 power. You'd have to drain 1 power out of the ship.
Do we want to embrace the Serene Bat?
Yes.
I'd like to do the transporter roll, please.
You're going to beam... Okay, so you're... Oh, hold up. So are you beaming a Klingon onto the bridge of this vessel? Site to site?
I'd like to at least.
Okay.
Would it be possible to beam both our doctor and security officer? Because one's good with sensors, I would suspect, and one is good with other things that go pew.
You can do this. Now, site-to-site transport, just so you know, is much more challenging than a standard transport. Standard transport is one okay. So in which case, this is going to be a difficulty, site-to-site, I believe, is a difficulty 2 roll.
I have a focus in transporter systems. Is there any way I can give an assist?
Yes, you could. Wow. That's handy. Yes, you can. You can absolutely assist with this. So roll a d20, a single d20. Okay. And use your control. You would probably use your, let's say use your daring and engineering. And then go ahead and make your roll, Cardin.
I'm gonna take one for cautious. I
Okay.
would like you all not to be spaghettificated.
That'd be great.
Okay. Wow.
That's a 3, a 3, and a 6.
I can't read shit in this engineering room.
Well, the good news is you dominated that difficulty. A 3, a 3, and a 6. Doesn't that hit your... You don't have the focus, though, so that's going to be one net
Ship
success.
systems?
No.
Technology?
No. If you had a focus in transporter systems the way your security officer did, I'd go
Fair
for it.
enough.
Yeah.
I put my bonus momentum from using a computer console to replace the power used by doing the site to site.
Okay.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Because this was adding on to Cardin's roll, didn't Cardin have like an increased complication?
If Cardin rolls a
Yes,
20
I haven't
or a
rolled
19.
the 19 yet.
But
Yeah.
because I'm assisting, do
No.
okay, because I rolled
No.
19.
Yeah. I also need to review the rules. I technically don't think we've done it in the past where somebody who is assisting spends determination or even momentum to assist with the roll. I don't think you can. I think an assist is just a d20 roll. But in this case, no, you don't. You also don't negatively. Yeah.
Make it worse.
No, I and also for the same reasons that I would put a stop to that, I would also say that if you rolled a complication, I would just bank the threat, but I wouldn't have it as count against the roll. And that,
I do
okay.
have a thing about complications, but
In which case, there is a curtain of green energy that suddenly envelops both you and the doctor. A very different sound as the Romulan transporter activates. You all see the flaming engine room around you as the environmental controls have started to activate and suppress a lot of the flames that were licking at the walls. And instead, that room disappears in front of you and you materialize on the bridge of this Romulan warbird. And you immediately see sitting in the center chair a Romulan Tal Shiar agent, and at the helm, a second Romulan Tal Shiar agent. You have actually beaten the commander and your two Romulan Republic allies to the bridge on the turbolift by doing the site to site. They are surprised by you beaming in here like this. Not only did they see the Romulan transport active, they turned, the guy swivels in the chair, and instead of seeing a fellow Tal Shiar agent beaming from the engineering compartment, he sees a Klingon Starfleet officer holding a batleth.
In a very bad mood.
Y'all can enter combat now if you like.
I'm immediately going after the captain's chair.
Okay. Center chair. All right. We are now in combat. Go ahead and make your roll.
Okie dokie.
I'm going to count him as prone. I mean,
would.
I think realistically. Oh, hold on. What's happening? Oh no. Wait, what is this? Okay. Oh. We're good. It's an old message. I thought I was getting another threat. I'm not. You guys are fine.
No, I believe
It's an
you
old
have momentum,
message.
though.
I will body tackle the chat.
I would like to use a focus.
Okay, which focus?
No better doctor than a warrior.
Yeah, that whole do no harm thing that most doctors, not you. I
am to be there.
You're the Morden Solus. You're just this.
Well, I'm not that bad. That guy had
No,
it.
you're just like these Romulans are symptoms that I must cure.
You know, every time I do something doctory, it's like I succeed, but only barely. As soon as I go fight mode, 1-3.
Okay, so that's
Your
gonna
dice
be.
know.
They know. All right, so that's gonna be a critical hit. You're gonna hit this guy because you were rolling your daring security, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so the difficulty was 1. You rolled a 1 and a 3.
Yep.
So you're gonna get a total
That's
of 3
I believe.
successes. So bank 2 momentum.
Okay.
So you're gonna hit this guy. The damage is 3 plus your security rating. So roll that many 6-sided dice and give me a
That's gonna be
total.
6. All right.
And every effect you roll counts as a +1 damage because you're
Okay.
using vicious.
So, okay.
It's the batleth.
I don't think this is as good as last one. I have a 3 in this one.
That was the best momentum spend getting that batleth for you, buddy.
So good.
I have a 1-1, 2 2s.
2s and 3s mean nothing, so just count the 4s,
Oh.
5s. Just
Okay.
count.
Wait.
I'm sorry. 1s and 2s mean something. 3s and 4s mean nothing. 5s and
Right.
6s are effects. Yeah, go ahead.
I only had 1 3.
Okay,
so
you're
I got
fine.
rid
Oh,
of it.
that's awesome. Okay.
I have 2 5s, 2 2s, and a 1.
So 2, 4, 6, 8,
9.
9.
Again.
Is that okay? You kill him. He is a minor NPC. He does not get to spin to shrug off the injury. He swivels in his chair. His mouth drops open. The Romulan looks like he's going to rise up out of the chair. You let out a war cry. Now, listen, you've seen your doctor lose his temper a few times, Bell, but you've never seen him wielding the batleth in battle. There are many times where the doctors had to contend with the fact that he is a Klingon that provides medical care. In this particular moment, you don't see a doctor anymore. You see a Klingon in battle. The Starfleet uniform you almost lose sight of the fact that he is a Starfleet officer. As he lets out a war cry, the Romulan tries to rise from the chair, brings his hands up as he's reaching for a disruptor at his side, and the batleth comes down with a terrifying the thunking sound. It sounds very much like an axe hitting the side of a large piece of meat.
I'm just gonna look.
And green blood spatters all over the captain's chair.
I'm just gonna look at Lieutenant Bell and go, "That was not his chair."
You said there were 2 people in here?
Yeah, there's another Romulan here. So if you want to keep the initiative,
I am keeping
spin
initiative.
the momentum. It's 2 momentum to keep it.
Of course I am. Okay. Yeah, as soon as the doctor rushes in, I think Yana just like lifts her phaser.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy die for cautious.
Okay.
I don't have where we are. I missed the net result of Noir's roll.
You rolled 3 successes, so the difficulty was 1. So you
How
got
many
2.
did the
you
opponent?
You banked 2. Oh, that's right. I haven't even rolled for him because I haven't even seen. Oh yeah, no, he didn't even. I'm glad. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot that I actually need to roll to see if you hit him or not. He rolled no successes, so we didn't change anything. He rolled an 18 and an 18.
Cool.
So it was 3 minus 1 for the new scene down to 2. Then Noir made back 2 more off the hit. So we are at 4 down to 3 for Bell's cautious.
Sounds good. All right.
+1.
Okay.
+2. +1.
+1 +2 +2 +1. Hand phaser focus.
Okay. Are you set to stun?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, I got a threat for that. I'm gonna just mark that down as you batleft him into the
I
Romulan
love
afterlife.
the batleth. It's like you're gonna do some damage, but man, you're gonna pay for it in the long run. Like, good. This is the way.
Okay. Difficulty.
You're using a phaser. This is going to be difficulty 2. Control security.
Control security. Okay. Here we go. Okay, and I get 1 reroll for cautious. Ooh, not as good, but still 3 successes.
Okay, well, that's a hit. You get 1 momentum from that. Go ahead and roll your damage. Baseline of 3 plus your security rating. I don't see him standing after this hit. This is one thing we have learned is that Bell can shoot and bullseye. Actually, so can our engineer, apparently.
Yeah, very well.
Cardin can bullseye a Romulan down a smoking hallway from 60 feet away, apparently.
Okay. Ooh, this is very pretty. Okay. 666
Really?
551.
Okay, you sign of the beast the Romulan into the happy realm of being stunned out of his mind. Does the beautiful, like, Trek stuntman fall, where you zap him and he flops back on the console behind him and then rolls dramatically off to the side and hits the ground with his disruptor rolling to the ground.
I'm disarming both of them immediately. I'm taking away all of their weapons.
Yeah,
I know one of them is mincemeat, but like,
yeah,
I don't want anyone else grabbing it.
the spatter that emerges as the doctor dislodges his batleth is upsetting. But about that moment, the doors to the bridge open as the commander and the two Romans come running onto the bridge. Commander pauses and stares at the scene, sees the doctor holding a bloody a batleth covered in dark and light greenish blood all over the blade. There's an unconscious Romulan on the ground.
And Bell has two disruptors.
I just look at the commander and go, the lives of many of my patients were in peril. And I point to our ship that was being attacked.
There are, looks like, unconscious Romulans here on the bridge. You see the sub commander is here. It looks like she is unconscious. It does not look like they are dead. It looks like they've been rendered unconscious. But what you do see on the view screen is a Diderdix class Romulan warbird currently engaged with the USS Chala. The Chala has put herself between this vessel and the warbird. The warbird is currently changing its axis and going over the top, so they are engaged in a battle of maneuvers. To which a Vested-class starship, even though it is large, is not the same scale as the lumbering hulk that is the Diderdix class. And despite its speed, it cannot outmaneuver the Chala. Also, point of note, the Chala has some of the most advanced shields in Starfleet. This is part of being a Vested class. So right now, you can see these brilliant teal-colored plasma beams launching out from the Romulan warbird and impacting. Looking at those beams of plasma energy, you immediately get a sense of what happened to this vessel. Romulans love their plasma energy. They literally set other ships on fire in space. Right now, the Chala's shields look like they're holding. As this is shown on the view screen, she immediately looks around and says, Commander, to our engineer, how's it going down there?
Well, I sent reinforcements. Were they helpful?
They were helpful. Cardin, we're not the target. I need power to weapons. Belay the order of the shields. Give me power to weapons.
Aye, Commander. Power to weapons.
He turns and looks at the other two Romulans and says, does either one of you know how to fire? And when he says that, you see Cassin, the doctor, says, I, and immediately the lieutenant says, I can. Vedith says, I can do it. Commander says, take your station. Vedith immediately rushes over to the station. The doctor approaches you, Vasht, and looks at the body of the Romulan as the commander says, pulls the body of the Romulan out of the center chair and slides into the edge of the seat as to not get blood all over her uniform. Gonna take that. I'm gonna make a roll here. This is going to be considered one of the rounds of ship combat. And before we do this, I need a roll from our engineer to see if weapons can get back online. This is going to be considered a damage control check. Oh, wait, no, this wouldn't be. You don't have access to a damage control team. This is going to be power management then. So then you have 2 points.
Could I possibly do trainagement instead?
You can have trainagement if you wish. Okay, cool. Yes, go ahead and just make me a control engineering check with a difficulty of 2.
All right, ship systems?
Yes, ship systems are definitely coming into play.
Lovely. Where are we at? May I take one for cautious still?
Yes, please.
Where does that put us?
I have 3, but I don't know if that's correct.
Did we ever use one of the 2 that I got us?
Yeah.
That was accounted for. I just didn't catch.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a 3 or an 8? No, it's Cardin. It's a 3. It's a 3, a 4, and an 11. Why do I take for cautious? It's academic. No, I will never jinx this fight. Okay. So it was a difficulty 2, you said?
Difficulty is 2.
Okay, so I pay back what I got. It's a computer console, so I'm going to add at least 1 bonus power. Depending on where we are, I could goose this up a little bit more, and then we can spend down on the shot. So I would be inclined to.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Okay.
Make it.
I feel like I wish I knew where we were at. I'm sorry, I didn't account that well, but I think like kicking another 3 power, a total of 4 more power, so we'd be at 8. Then
Okay.
if we want to drain the banks on a shot. I mean, it wouldn't do that much to the Pterodactyl, but it wouldn't be happy.
I believe you got it to 4, and then you drained 1 to transport us.
That's correct. You have
And so
3.
you're at 3.
Okay. No, I paid for that back with the momentum spend.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because I get a bonus momentum whenever I do a task at a computer console, and I've been putting that bonus momentum into power.
Sweet. Perfect.
So I'll do another 2 momentum into power on top of that.
Alrighty. Make your roll.
I did. That was the 3, the 6, and the 11.
Oh, that's what that was? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
that was how I got the
that was a
bonus
lot of.
momentum. I had to
Sorry.
succeed on it.
Gotcha.
I know. It's 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.
Okay, so how many successes total?
Total of 3 successes.
3. Okay, so 3. So you're going to add a total of how much power back? Let's see. Yep. All right. Oh, yeah, you juiced up the power good here.
Plus a bonus 3, 1 from my bonus momentum,
3.
and 2 from momentum into
6,
power because that's
7,
a
8.
repeatable momentum spend.
So the ship is actually at full power now.
Let's go.
You get the power systems back up. Yeah, I'm going to say we're going to sink some power into the disruptors. And how much power do we want to sink into that?
Yes.
Yeah. We want to. You risk burning out the disruptor array, but you know what? The ship is in heavy need of repair, and this is kind of a
We gotta protect our.
swing for the fences kind of deal.
Drive it like a stolen warbird.
Yeah. All right. In which case, yeah, we're gonna spend. It's point. I'm gonna make a roll here. Security.
Can any assist happen here?
I'm gonna say no on this one because I feel like it's actually difficult to assist with Romulan weapon systems.
Fair enough.
With the Romulan doing this themselves. So I'm gonna make a roll.
Do they get assistance from like a computer or anything?
Yes, they get targeting systems because the ship is at full power. So at this point, okay, I'm gonna do some rolls here. How many points did we spend? How many points of power do you spend here? I think you could spend up to. Okay, got it. All right, no, that's good. Let's see. I'm making a roll. Ooh, that is a 4 and a 5. That's 2 successes. Let's see. And now, okay, so power. This is. Hold on, I'm using plasma weapons. It's at a distance, but that's okay. We're still within range. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, it's vicious. Romulan disruptors have vicious. I'm gonna gain a point of. Nope. Let's just do this. I'm gonna roll for damage because the Pterodactyl did not have the. That's 1 breach. Plus 6. Okay, so I'm marking down the stress. Oh my.
Pterodactyl didn't do well.
Yeah, y'all burned out the. I'm gonna say y'all burned out the disruptor array at the front of this vessel. I mean, actually, no. This is no. There's not. This isn't a disruptor array. I forgot. This is disruptor cannons.
Cannons.
I have a feeling the rightful owners of the ship wouldn't be too mad about the current usage of the.
Vicious one. Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, disruptor cannons. So that's actually increased difficulty. It doesn't matter. They still hit.
Okay.
So, but
range,
it's significantly more damage though.
Oh no.
Yep. Okay. How many breaches is that? It's a scale 6. That is going to be. All right. Let me roll to see what it was. What is that? What? Oh. Okay. So an 18 is weapons. Hits the tactical. Okay, so it impacted the tactical systems. All right, so this is what happens. You get the order for more power to weapons. As the ship starts coming online, 2 things happen. First of all, you start getting alerts all over the place, indicating that the ship at full power Cardin is suffering from severe. It suffered from a couple of breaches. The flip side to activating all of the power systems is a lot of the plasma conduits throughout the ship are now overloading and sparking fires on multiple decks. So it's basically like you have a deep wound and you're running really hard. The blood's flowing faster kind of deal. The heart's pumping. So good, bad. Good part, though, is so much power gets dumped into the disruptor cannons that the disruptor cannons, though they burn out, breach the warbird twice with one strike. And the warbird on visuals, as you see a few of the shots miss and a few slam into the shields, you can see the ripple effect of the disruptor, the plasma playing across the surface of the shields. You can also see at that point the Chala start banking hard to starboard as to sort of clear some space and give a more clear shot to the Romulan vessel that just came online. But that's not what happens next. What happens next is the Derricks begins to alter course. You see it sort of bank up, then down and around, changing the y-axis. It immediately starts to engage cloaking device. It spins its power and goes as it begins to immediately move out of the combat area. You just see it go and vanish from sensors. At that point, you hear the captain come on the intercoms. This is the USS Chala to the Romulan warbird. And you see the commander smile and tap her communicator and says, "It's good to hear your voice, Captain. We're on the bridge. Was that you?" "Aye, Captain. We'll have a full debriefing as soon as we can, but we need some teams over here right away. The ship's bleeding to death." "Understood. Let's get as many people off as we can. That warbird could come back at any moment." It's been now about a week since the events. There's been a ripple effect throughout the quadrant from this encounter. It's the first time a Romulan starship has engaged a Federation starship since before the Dominion War. And it's having diplomatic repercussions. There's a lot of people that want the head of the captain of the USS Chala. However, the Federation decides to stand by him because the Federation was defending an ally who was under attack outside of Romulan territory. The Shackleton Expanse is technically Federation space. At least this area of it is on this side of the borders. Each of you, over the past month and a half here in the Shackleton Expanse, have experienced all the adventures that you were hoping to have back at Starfleet Academy. They just turned out to be a little more real than you expected. And you certainly didn't anticipate what it was going to be like losing a crew member. At the reception, the memorial after the funeral, the photon torpedo is symbolically sent out into space. You're all gathering together in Tin Forward with the bulk of the crew. People have approached you to send their condolences because they know even though you had only just gotten to know her, it seems that at least some people on the crew know what it's like to lose a crew member on an away mission. Some of the more seasoned officers have come up to speak to you. But the three of you, for the most part, keep to yourselves and can keep to one another as comfort. You see her closest friends, the people that knew her and transferred on the vessel, are the ones that are getting the most attention, as it should be. You are all by the window. You see, as you're sitting there, a very familiar Ensign Oba approaches all of you with the gentle smile on his face and says, "Can I sit here with y'all?"
We'd be offended if you didn't.
Slides into the booth. Y'all are near the window looking out in space, currently looking at the lines of stars being ordered back to Narendra Station. Starbase 364 will be a welcome reprieve as everyone has been guaranteed some time off. You sit quietly looking out the window.
The true wow.
And Oba just says, "Well, I wish I could have been there with y'all. I don't know what good I would have been, but are y'all okay?"
It is better. It is better that you were not there.
Well, I hope you don't mind, but Belle, there's somebody I wanted to introduce you to. Somebody else on the security team that was a friend of hers, and I think I know how security, you operations types like to stick together. You mind coming with me for a sec, if I can borrow her?
I'd be happy to. And she'll kind of unfold herself where she's been sort of uncharacteristically, like, hunched and small.
Okay.
And
And
she'll
for
follow.
the moment, as y'all are just listening to the gentle hum of the warp engine, it's carded and washed.
Doctor, while I have you here for a moment, I realize it is not your medical bay, but I had a question.
I'll be more than happy to answer.
The graft I got after the plasma burn, is it supposed to feel tingly? It does not hurt anymore, but it does tingle. Is that an interaction with benzite physiology, or...
Allow me to take a look. And he's gonna very seriously just scan the area.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing there.
You appear to be in extraordinary health.
You are a very good warrior. You are a better doctor, I think. Not because you're not a good warrior.
I do not take offense.
It's just...
Yes.
You are a very good doctor.
It is the Klingon way to embrace combat. In combat we live. Upon discovering Starfleet, I found that saving lives could bring the same exhilaration. And in meeting many of the people in Starfleet, I have come to value saving lives. You are a wonderful example of the sort of life that I would like to protect and save.
Very good doctor. And looking out, they'll just lean a bit onto him.
The two
back in.
The two of you just sit silhouetted by the stars as the USS Chala returns home again from another dangerous mission. And that is where we will leave Away Team 1, Episode 2.
OTP. OTP.
Woo! Yeah. OTP Doctor in the Batleth.
GG.
So true.
My goodness. GG.
Woo! We did everything.
Yes, this game used
So
just
much.
about every mechanic.
Oh,
We broke them all
Except
out.
this-
Yeah, got a little bit of ship combat in.
Yes, you
yeah.
got the combat.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, we went a little late tonight, but that's okay. It was good game. Good stuff. All right. Well, it once again brings home to me that we need to keep telling the story of these kids.
You're such a good GM, and you really suck at one shot.
I do. Well,
in the
so it's
best
not-
way.
Hey, listen, I did a great. I one
This is
shot
the
the hell out
second
of
one
this.
shot in this series. It's true. You are doing
yeah.
a great series of one shot. We're just gonna call it a series of one shots. Then
It really-
it's a one shot, Eric.
I am telling full stories, and it's
You are.
it is
You
very
actually
rare.
are. It's great.
It
It's
actually is rare, but I am telling full stories, start to finish.
And you
We
know,
love
I,
it. Thank you
I
so much.
built a one-shot character. I have no backstory for this little weirdo, and now I need to make one because we keep.
You've been one-shotting repeatedly, so you hit the assignment.
Yeah.
I believed in you, and now I need to build more.
That's what y'all get.
I need to build this character.
Yeah, one day we'll have to see where these, and I love it because the Vesta class is one of my favorite ships ever.
It's
and I
so
love them.
smexy.
It's
Oh.
yeah. Star Trek Online, man. Not just saying it because we're on their Twitch channel. I'm just saying they put out some good stuff. All right, Well, that's going to wrap us out, y'all. As a quick reminder, if you are playing Star Trek Online, for the love of God, get into it while you can. It's double XP time. You get double XP for your captains right now. It is absolutely worth it. So if you wanted to level up, now's the time to do it. Thank you so much, of course, to Cryptic for letting us come play on their channel. And thank you to Modifius for all the support and throwing stuff our way with regards to books and whatnot. We love your game. And thanks for letting us live in the stories. And of course, a big thanks to the other storyteller in the chair tonight, the Ox Crew, who was just throwing momentum and threat at me. Y'all were really just juicing this game up tonight to get some of that drama going. Well done. You almost killed Noir. Not quite. Nicely done, though. We will catch you back here next Monday night. Next Monday night, the plan is to return to Star Trek Perseverance. Hopefully, Danielle will be feeling up to it. I don't know if y'all saw, Danielle's got a bit of an injury. She took 5 points of stress and is currently burning her momentum in order to keep the injury at bay. So
we are truly at half cast right now because everybody just needs to sleep so hard.
It's pretty. I know.
Everybody who's not here
Daylight
just
savings.
needs to sleep for like
pretty much
several days.
What I'm doing
People in
is
here. It's daylight savings time. Everything's weird. Go to sleep. Get good sleep.
Everybody get good rest.
y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much to Mike Fatum, as always, Ambassador. We appreciate you. We will catch you all back here next Monday night for the next episode of Clear Skies Perseverance. Until then, hailing frequencies closed.
Bye.